Good evening and welcome to the World of Tanks Pro League with me, Paul Red Channel, and alongside me, Stephen Sneeniel, to bring you an epic night of World of Tanks. Yes, that's right. We've reached match day 21 of 22. It's now or never for the teams. They either step up or they go out of the league, and we have a cracking night for you in store because it really is going to be very tense this evening. For two teams in particular who will kick things off this evening, Alpha versus Lucky Kuraky. It's a relegation titanic battle.
It's an epic game.
It is an epic game, and for a number of reasons. But we'll get to that in a moment.
We just found out some fun facts as well, so it's going to be really good.
Yeah, indeed. Before we do that, though, we should show you the rankings as to where we are right now. So let's check out the top 12, the only 12 in the World of Tanks Pro League Season 1. WoT Pro confirmed as champions of the league, but not champions of Season 1 just yet, because there's a little bit of a playoff to go on. WoT Pro, top of the table, 57 points with 19 consecutive wins, setting the record every single week, week after week after week. In second place are Synergy. They aren't guaranteed a second place just yet, and they've got a game in hand as well. Mousesports also have a game in hand, as well as do Meet Your Makers and Dragonborns, but they will all catch up on Wednesday evening so that we can see who goes through in which position on Thursday night, which is the last night. This is the final week of the World of Tanks Pro League here in Europe, and on Thursday night we'll see the final matches of the season and decide which positions all of these teams finish in, because the only one we really know about right now is WoT Pro winning the league. Other than that, we're a bit in the dark as to who finishes where. Synergy, remember, in second place, have been there all season long. Mousesports breathing down their neck, just 3 points behind, and the second place team get an automatic bye into the semi-finals at DreamHack in a few weeks' time. Now, Meet Your Makers in fourth right now, but they're joined by Dragonborn, Spale and Kazna crew, all stuck on 30 points. And the reason that that's absolutely huge for all of those teams is that the 6 top teams only go to DreamHack for the finals. So 3 down to 6 will qualify into the round of 6. And at the moment, that's Mousesports, Meet Your Makers, Dragonborns, and Spale. Dragonborns, however, have the toughest run-in of all. They have Meet Your Makers, Synergy, and WoT Pro as their last 3 matches. So they're under the cosh in the middle of that. Spale have a slightly easier run, but they've got to win tonight as well. They face Kazna crew in our second game, which is a game on Thursday, which could end up deciding who goes through between those two teams as well. Then we have Evil Panda Squad, who are a little bit away, but they're not out of it yet, and we'll have their game this evening as well to see whether they can get back into the playoff mix as they go head-to-head with Asuba, who've not been in the best of form right now. They're in 9th. They're safe at the moment from automatic relegation, but they really do need to pick up their form because they are in the relegation playoff spots. Places 7 to 10 will go into the relegation playoffs, and they will play 2 from the A Series and 2 from the WoT leagues as well. Then come Lucky Kuraky in 10th position, the highest they've been all season, after an incredible run of games where they've won 3 of their last 4 matches, and yet they've only won 5 all season. So they've had an incredible last few weeks. In fact, last 2 weeks.
A bit too late, though, right?
Well, a little bit too late to make the playoffs, sure, but they might have just given themselves, well, they have given themselves a lifeline to get out of the relegation spots, because the bottom 2 spots are automatically relegated out of the World of Tanks Pro League in Season 2, replaced by the top series A Series team and the top WoT team. So Lucky Kuraky right now have given themselves a huge chance at missing out on relegation, which would be absolutely amazing for them. Alpha Squad, on the other hand, who haven't been in the bottom 2 all season, now find themselves in there with 2 games to go. And tonight, they take on Lucky Kuraky. So they have to win that game. If they lose, that's it, they're gone. And so are 1SBP Zawisza. In fact, Zawisza are pretty much relegated already. Mathematically, they can still catch Lucky Kuraky, but they would have to win both of their final 2 games. And the form book says they ain't going to do that either.
Not looking good.
So there you go. There's your league.
Both teams just threw out a fun fact there. Their last, well, their 4 stream games.
They've had 4 stream games each,
and they've won 3 each out of these 4 stream games. So
they obviously like the streamed matches, and they rise to the occasion.
They do indeed, but both of them do. So now it's the question: who's going to rise higher?
Yes, the form book, as we said earlier, it favours Lucky Kuraky this evening, because although they've been in the bottom 2 all season, they've won 3 of their last 4. An Alpha Squad, by contrast, have lost 6 out of 6. So they really need to fight back this evening for a chance to stay in the World of Tanks Pro League next season. And even then, if they avoid automatic relegation, they still have to face the playoffs, which, by the way, will bring you next Monday and Thursday as well. So we'll be seeing some new teams battle it out to try and get into the World of Tanks Pro League. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, looking at Alpha, they actually, their last game they lost against Evil Panda scored 3-2, so that was even a tough one. They did put up a fight there, and that's why I'm expecting big games today.
Big games. We'll come to the predictions in a moment before we get to that.
Yeah, we won't forget it this time.
Yeah, no, we won't forget the predictions this week. Before we get there, though, let's introduce you to our social media maven. She's, of course, the one and only Melly. How you doing, Melly?
I'm fine.
Good.
Great weather, great matches,
yes.
great time coming in. So,
and what are you going to be doing for us today?
When it comes to predictions, I want to hear your predictions as well. So my job is taking care of you by handling our social media platforms. I will put up votes in front of every matchup on our Facebook site, facebook.com/WoT Pro League. You should see it right under my face. And yeah, let's hear what the community says, who will be the great victor in the end of every matchup. And you can also ask questions to our two experts.
Not experts.
Paul, seriously, how long are you doing
not
this?
Experts, I know, but not experts. Only one of us is
I don't even feel like an expert
Well, you
anymore.
can ask me as well, so
there's so many
three
questions.
experts,
there's
everyone on a different level.
Are you ready for Thursday, by the way?
Thursday? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
You ready, are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
heard there is a video somewhere in the internet. It's called Red Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, my goodness, don't go there.
I want to see that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I couldn't find it.
No,
really,
because
somebody told me.
I asked them to not put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Really?
So
Is
they
it that
didn't-
bad?
Yeah, it is. It's awful. You don't want to see it.
Okay, good.
Tell
I'm
us in
sorry
Twitch chat
to
if you
bring
want to
it
see
up.
it.
I
if
think
enough
I
of you
know
want-
what's the answer,
Yeah,
to be honest.
if you want to see it, then maybe we'll show it at the end of the game.
That'd be good, because I really want to know.
Really?
Is it just as good as the pictures?
Oh God. Let's not have that today, okay? Because I've had a weekend of photoshopping my face onto bodies of
I would like
Borat
you
and,
to Photoshop.
oh my goodness.
Borat.
I'm getting trolled twice in a few days. This is outrageous.
Well, at least not me this time.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Finally,
Thank you very
somebody
much.
else.
So yeah.
Get me your questions over the Twitch chat, over Twitter, over Facebook, whatever, and I will ask those two for the answers.
We do our best. But again, I was caught out so many times. I got I think the last 4 shows, there's at least always one question I just think,
I have to Google it.
yeah, let me have a quick look in game, then we can carry on with this question. So,
Yeah.
but there's so many tanks, so you have to forgive me. But for esports, we don't have that many tanks, so we could go right into the tank pick and see what tanks we
Yes,
can go
let's
for.
go to the tank picker. Thank you very much, Melly. We'll
You're
come back to you
welcome.
a little bit later on in the program. And yeah, let's just see. Are we ready for tank picks? We are ready for tank picking. So let's do the tank pick, and we'll come back to the lineups in a minute as well before the game starts, and we'll tell you the two teams how they line up. And we are ready for the tank picks. Good. Okay, so Lucky Kuraky have started things off. We're going to start off on Himmelsdorf, and they've kicked off with a 5100 and a T1. Alpha have come back with 2 T1s, so all pretty standard so
Yeah,
far.
and I always have to repeat this. 2 T1s at the beginning on Himmelsdorf is needed. It doesn't make that much difference anymore, because 2 T1s are always obvious, but now again, saying this, 2 5100s are all pretty much obvious as well, so
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's all pretty standard. So, I mean, explain why 2 T1s are needed on Himmelsdorf.
But yeah, because
I know, but you know, tell the people at home.
we have the 742 rule, so you can have 7 tanks, obviously 7 on 7, and a maximum of 42 tier points. So you have to find the best mix out of tier 8 tanks, or up to tier 8 tanks, that you have a complete lineup with 42 tier points. On Himmelsdorf, because you don't take artillery, you will take 5 tier 8 tanks. Most of them probably heavy. Some take a T69 in there as well, becoming more and more popular on this map. And then you have 2 tier points left, and you have to fill this gap with 2 tier 1s. But saying this, it sounds like the T1 is just kind of a gap-filling tank, but it's actually
Does have a purpose.
It is maybe even one of the most important tanks on this map, because you can put 1 T1 on the one side you're not pushing, just to keep the spots up.
Yeah.
And also, if it comes to a big fight, 5 against 5, your 5 tier 8 tanks fight against each other, you just sneak your 2 T1s around the back, put them in a cap circle, and just buy enough time in the engagement that your both tier 1s can cap, or you're going to draw 1 tank behind. Because,
nice. Nicely done. Yeah, perfect explanation. Tank picks have continued. We've had 2 5100s for Alpha, as expected. They've then gone IS-3 T69, which is reasonable as well, and Alpha followed them with the same pick. But here's where the difference comes in. Lucky Kuraky have gone double IS3, which again is not that unusual, but Alpha have gone for a 32 alongside that 69, which we haven't seen a huge amount of on Himmelsdorf, but it's not that unusual either.
No, it's becoming more and more unpopular. But then, well, we had a trend where it was only 2 IS3, so no T32s anymore, and now it's coming back a bit. So, but I think the IS3 is a better call here, just because of the damage output, and if you use it right, it can just be way more effective than a T32.
Indeed. While they're finishing off their tank picks and getting ready, let's show you the lineups for the two teams this evening. Alpha have a number of players that they can use. Not all of them will be used this evening, but Envy, Firefly, Mezabrows, Paysons, Professors X, Skrills, Striker, Manza, KS, Robis, and Jarrow. Lucky Kuraky lining up with Bart, CNK, Andre, Kunzios, Matt, I knew I was going to do that as well. I always struggle with his name. Nepozorny, Obiect, Tolek, Lucas, Kedavan, and Quicksfill right at the end there as well. From the players that we've seen inside the game, we've got Nepozorny, Obiect, CNNK, Kedavan, Quicksfill, Matt, and Bart. So pretty much what we'd expect from Lucky Kuraky. They've also got Lucas and Kunzios as well on the bench. Looks like one of them might just come back in.
Yeah, maybe as artillery player.
So yeah, we're going to have one man come back in. And on the other side, Alpha lining up with Manza, Mezabrows, Robis, Jarrow, KS, Striker, Skrills, and Kopchenko as well is also in there. So they have a couple of subs, well, a couple of subs on Lucky Kuraky and one on Alpha Pro. And just to explain that, it is a 7v7 game, but most teams have way more than 7 players who actually play for the clans, mainly because of specialities such as artillery and scouts, but also because you can. I mean, you know, some of these teams have like 12, 13 players. Not that they can play all of those in the league because we have we have a cap. But even WoT Pro have 9 players in the team.
Yeah, I was just looking at Lucky Kuraky's lineup, and there's no player what picked an artillery as their favourite tank. So I was just about to say, well, this is going to be artillery player, and I can't remember who usually always took the artillery. And other teams don't know straight away, but Lucky Kuraky, I just can't remember who it was. And I tried to look it up, but
I'm not entirely sure, I have to say. Matt, I think, has played artillery this season, but now you're testing my knowledge of what we've seen already this season. So, looks like both the teams are ready. Let's just make sure they know we're ready. And we will get underway for Map 1 on Himmelsdorf. Just as a reminder for you, this is a huge match for both of these two teams. The winner is almost certainly going to stay in the WoT Pro League as we get into Himmelsdorf, map number 1.
Yeah, map number 1 in Himmelsdorf. Right side is pretty popular, becoming more and more. Even the hills becoming more and more popular as well. Just because I think WoT Pro started off with this cheesy tactic, setting up some tanks up there, but also the left-hand side, what you can just see in the picture, is a really nice position. Just because it's open, you have a bit more space, you can maneuver a bit better, and yeah, it's a strong side. Quick walk through the maps, what are the final seconds just count down. We're going to see Himmelsdorf first, obviously what we can already see. Next map will be Ensk, 3rd map Abbey, 4th map Prokhorovka, and 5th map Mines. Alpha banned out White Park, and Lucky Kuraky banned out Airfield.
Okay, so no airfield this evening. That's quite a shocker because we usually see that.
Airfield's one of the most popular maps, isn't
Indeed.
it? Yeah, well, not most popular, but we see
one of the most picked anyway. Yes, for sure. So we are underway. As I said earlier, if Lucky Kuraky win this, they're guaranteed of avoiding relegation. I should correct myself, actually, because they're not guaranteed of staying in the WoT Tanks Pro League because they will have the relegation playoffs to make. But right now, they have a very good shot of staying in for next season. If Alpha lose, they are guaranteed to be relegated. That is absolutely for certain. So we're underway, and look at the cheese that's going on right now, because 2 Tier 8 tanks, 3 Tier 8 tanks, and the T1 all going up the side of the hill from Lucky Kuraky. We've started to see this as a much more popular tactic since we saw WoT Pro do it the first time round. Matt literally spotting through the 7 line in a Tier 8 tank. He's already been spotted by the proxy as well, just behind him. There is Robis in the T1 just behind there. You can just see him through the wall. And Kedavan also spotting through the middle as well. Then the other T1 will be down on the 2 line. So fairly standard setup so far if you're WoT Pro. but it's nice to see Lucky Kuraky doing something that very similar.
Yeah, on the other side, we just see Alpha splitting up their tanks kind of everywhere. You got one T69 on the left-hand side, what we can see there. The T1 KS, he's in the. Oh no, he actually isn't. He's on the free line, this nice hold-down position, but just sticking there with his T1, seeing what's going on that side. We have Jarrow on the 7-8 line, down the banana, as somebody named it, Magus. And then the 250-100s, just sitting at the back. They're kind of covering two positions. I'm covering a possible push down the 8 line, what won't happen because Roberts will see it all in time. But I'm also ready to clear what's coming from the other side. But I think they should be looking in this direction anyway because they have nothing but can spot on that side. And if all of a sudden some push comes down there, they can take a lot of damage before even knowing what's going on.
Interestingly, over on the other side right now, Kuraky are taking the advantage of the fact that there's just no one up on the hill by the Citadel. So instead, CNNK now has a chance to just reverse himself up here, turret first. Oh, well, he will do it the second attempt. A shopping centre right there. But he'll have a chance to spot right down the hill on the other side of the map. So, you know, round about the sort of BCD zone areas in that 9-0 line. And that means that they can't push at all from up here. And Kuraky effectively have full sight and full vision. You can see Quickfill here right now. He's covering the other side by the train yard. Not a usual push area, but nevertheless, just in case he's down there. And Bart, as you can see, now has some vision on the top of the map. So they have the height advantage here, Lucky Kuraky, whereas Alpha have decided they want nothing to do with the top of the hill.
Yeah, that's fair enough. They don't have to have anything to do with the top of the hill, but they need to at least know what's going on up there. And they just left it completely unspotted. And there's actually even nothing behind them what can spot if they push down the hill. So the earliest when they're going to spot that something's coming will be on A8 or B8. And that will be too late because they're going to take a lot of damage already. And then they're allowing Lucky Kuraky to get a nice position just to hold it, you know. So I have no idea what Alpha's trying here. We can see Striker. He's got a nice sniping angle right here at this corner. But again, this could be way too late. And I would at least expected a tier 1 up that hill. Or maybe just a T69 looking what's going on and then fall back.
Yeah, right now, yeah, sorry, we've got Matt Piel, who did get a little bit of a spot there and did land the first shell onto Jarrow. This is the battle along the 7-8 line where you can see Matt Piel just parked up. He has been proxy spotted by Robis, who's going to pop round the side here. I don't think he should take that one on because that's a T1 will go down with one shot. But nevertheless, he's just moving across to see if he can spot anything else. And Matt has landed the first bit of damage, also had some damage done on himself as well. So first bit of exchange fire is fairly low-key so far, nothing too drastic.
Ketevan also took a shot in the middle, receiving a bit of damage. So nice beginning for Alpha. They managed to do a bit more damage. Jarrow was lucky that he didn't take that much damage himself either. It was a low damage roll, so he's fine for now. Done quite a lot of damage himself though, nearly 400. And yeah, it's always a nice way to kick off a game. But I don't understand why Lucky Kuraky aren't pushing over the hill. They should have realised that T1 wasn't spotted there. And they spotted many tanks down the bottom. They know that 3 tier 8 tanks are on the D line, and they could guess either the 250-100 is going to be somewhere near the hill, but they would have outnumbered them. They were 3 tanks against 2 then, so why not go for that push? That's what I don't understand. But they're more falling back, and it looks like they might even try to go over the 1-2 line here and try to flank.
Yeah,
them.
this would be an interesting push from Kuraky. They've got the 2 tier 8s coming off the hill, the 5100s. That were up on the hill, now backed off, checking out the cap circle. It's a particularly difficult cap circle on the south side because you've got the church, which means the circle sort of goes round it. So sometimes if you get flanked on that 1, 2, 3 line, then you don't actually get a clear sight of them until you go round the other side of the church. So they were just being really ultra cautious that nothing was coming their way. And they're now trying to set up some angles down the 7 Banana Street here.
Yeah, they're
to see whether they can spot anything from Alpha Pro, who I think are on the move.
Yeah, they saw Jarrow and Skrills pushing. Jarrow, actually, I only just noticed this. Jarrow took a shell onto his ammo rack, and he's not repairing it. I don't understand why he's not repairing it. I'm not sure if he didn't notice, because he should have a repair kit, but he might have also used it on his tracks, and then he got shot again, and his ammo rack was taken down. I have no idea, because a destroyed ammo rack on that IS-3 is a really big disadvantage because your reload time is just going to be so high. The reload time on that IS-3 is a bit higher anyway, and then doubling the reload time, so that makes it nearly 17, 18 seconds of reload on a normal firing tank.
Sorry about that. We've got a bit of action right now in the middle here. Kenavan has done a lot of damage to Manza, who's down to 256 here. And we've now got some shells landing down on the top of Jarrow, who has finally decided to make a bit of a push right through the centre line of the map. And Kenavan, with only 696 here, is a little bit on his own, although he does have some firepower back from Matt on one side and Nipazorni on the other. Object is also there as well. Now, are they going to make a push around the corner? Nice shell from Kenavan. Gets one back in the face himself, down to 372 now. And then one in the rear as well. So he's coming in to fire from all over the place. And finally, Manza lands the shell that kills his tank off as he screams for help and doesn't get any. And the cap has now begun as well.
And the two AMX 5100s are trying to flank, but they're going to be facing two AMX 5100s themselves, even a T69, but all very low, but nice focus fire onto Objects.
Yeah, Object is now coming around the corner. There's three in the corner here. He's got them pinned down. Striker's going to go down with this next shell. Gets the first one. Lucky Kuraky finally get themselves on the board. Striker destroyed, but KS has also picked up one as well. That was a T1. And I don't know if Object knew that there were three tanks behind there. He's got them both very low. Meanwhile, Cap continues in the Cap circle with CNNK, and it's now up to 58. They're going to have to do something about this, Stephen.
They do. KS is trying to decap, but he won't manage it. He's down to 14 HP. As soon as he peeks around the corner, CNNK is just going to lob a load of shells into his face.
Yeah, actually, right now we've got a really big battle going on as Manza destroys Object. Bart now is going to go down against Jerry. He might get one shell off. He does manage to get one more off, but he will go down very easily indeed. And Alpha now have won this game as long as they can get back here, because the T1 is the last man alive, and they have got a T1 versus T1 battle. But KS has not got any health here.
Mansa's
14.
coming from the other side,
He's got
though.
9 seconds to hold on, and they will win with a 1 versus 5. No, finally destroyed by Manza around the corner in the nick of time. Alpha have claimed map 1. Phew, that was close.
That was a really close one. Nice engagement from Alpha. They managed to get the perfect angle, managed to fortify, like, turtle into their position. They use the T-32 really, really nice. So that incredible strong turret, hardly taking any damage, doing a lot of damage himself. Even though the IS-3 from Jarrow had a destroyed ammo rack, they still managed to do a lot of damage. We can see he done 1.5 or nearly 1.7k damage with a destroyed ammo rack. That's still a lot. Means he connected his shells, he done the damage, and nice game.
Yep, 3 from Manza, 2020 damage MVP for that particular game. So there we are, 1 game down, and well, we said it was going to be a thriller this evening, and we've started off with exactly that. Lucky Kuraky almost capping fully with just a T1 remaining against 5 Alpha Pro players. But fortunately, Manza gets back in time, in the nick of time, with a couple of seconds remaining, and Alpha take map 1.
Yeah, that was a close one. But that's exactly what we were expecting from these two teams.
Yes, I mean, it is exactly what we were expecting. So we are ready for tank picks in map number 2 already. So let's drop you into those.
They're not losing any time at all.
They
want to get ready.
They want to get on with this. Alpha want to keep their momentum going as well. They've started things off on Ensk with a T1 and a 50-100. So no big deal so far from Alpha Pro.
You might see the same lineup, but I think Lucky Kuraky was one of the first teams who were... Or Lucky Kuraky and 1SP Savisha, these two teams were the ones who keep on using the Tier 2 artillery. I'm not sure we're going to see it again. I still don't agree on Ensk because it's a city map, and we did once see the Bison do a lot of damage.
Yes, we did.
1.5k.
I was going to say the Bison is probably the most appropriate artillery for Ensk.
But we only saw it once.
If you agree that artillery is even appropriate for Ensk.
But we only saw once that the artillery doing a good job.
Yes.
And besides that, I see the additional Tier 8.
Yeah, I've seen it used 3 or 4 times now on Ensk.
Yeah, but I mean only once it worked.
Only once it was valuable. So we can't really tell so far. Well, we sort of can because they've gone T1, but it could be that they take a Tier 7 tank and then they put a Tier 2.
Yeah, because they haven't caught their Tier. They haven't caught it a second Tier 1 yet.
No, exactly.
So this could be mind games, just like keeping it open. We might take artillery, we might not take artillery. We don't know yet. We don't want to let you know. And then, like, the final call is going to be Tier 1.
We've got T1 and 5100s from both of them so far, and then the second round pick from Alpha is a 5100 and an IS-3. Kuraky are definitely not going to go for artillery because they've gone for another T1 and another 5100. So I don't think we're going to see artillery from either of these two just yet. I think this is going to be a straightforward Ensk-style battle, which does mean that we might not get much action for a while in Ensk. It has become what we call the draw map. And I'm loath to say I hope I don't see it in the map pool next season, because I still like Ensk, but it is a draw map, and if you leave it in there, you almost know what you're going to get from the moment that the timer goes from 10 minutes. Tank picks have continued. They've gone for a T1 and a 69 for Alpha Pro this time round, so very similar Himmelsdorf kind of setup. For both teams, it has to be said, and that's confirmed by the fact that Kuraky are going to go for an IS3 and a T69 in their 4th round pick. So I make that. What do we got here for unlucky Kuraky? We've got double T1, double 5100, an IS3 and a T69. So probably a 5100 at the end if they want to go triple. Kuraky are going to go for an IS3. My mistake. So they do go for double IS3. So yeah, that's almost identical for them. As their Himmelsdorf. And Alpha, on the other hand, have gone for triple 5100s. So they prefer those 5100s overall. They've got 3 of those. They've got the 2 T1s, and they've also got a T69 and an IS3 in their lineup. So the only difference between the two teams is currently a 5100 extra for Alpha, and instead of that, on Lucky Kuraky, they've gone for the IS3.
Yeah, on Ensk you have a few more open areas, even in the city part. Like if you drive inside these building complexes, it's open there again. That's where you can use a 5100 pretty good. While on Himmelsdorf, for example, you got more angles, you got more corners, not that much space. That's why an autoloader is not needed that much, and you can rather go for a normal big heavy tank with a lot of damage, a lot of armor, come around a corner, do one shot, fall back, and you can reload nice and safe. So on Ensk, both tactics can work. I'm happy that we not see any VK, because some teams were starting to pick up the VK 45 again, and it's turned out to be really useless, in my opinion.
Yes.
It didn't do much damage. It didn't put anything special into the game. So it's not, of course, damage is the most one of the most important things on a tier 8 tank, but also there's some small other additional stuff that make a tank valuable. You know, like it can be all kinds of things. Just being in the way, just blocking off roads, not doing the damage, but just blocking it off. And so, yeah, with the VK45, done none of that.
I do like the little bit of information on the sidebar that you get underneath the map. It says a mixture of city blocks and wooded outskirts bisected by railroad tracks. Plan your attacks to take advantage of defensive choke points, positioning your vehicles to cover the gaps. All perfectly fine. And then it says, artillery is great for deterring enemy breakthroughs.
Okay. Where's that great? Where's that great?
I was thinking, hang on a minute, really?
I was just about to say, let's record these takes and then we put it in the map overview.
Yeah,
but then
absolutely.
the
No,
artillery,
that would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, not an artillery map usually, but it has been played that way 3 or 4 times through the season. And as Stephen rightly said, normally with very little effect. It's time to get going on map number 2. It is the draw map. It's Ensk.
Draw map, just because of the city side, what we can see right now. Just put one T1 there, you shut down the whole left side of the map. The middle can't be used anyway, just because you can't actually cross anywhere in the middle, except in your base or in the enemy base. I think put in some openings in the middle of the middle. You know.
In the middle of the middle.
In the middle of the middle.
In the middle of the middle.
That would open the map quite a lot, and that would give way more tactics and would avoid many draws, in my opinion. And then you got the right-hand side, a lot of bushes there. Just so again, one T1 on that side, it's open. Hide a T1 in a bush, and you shut down the right-hand side. And that's one of the main reasons, or these are the 3 main reasons why we're seeing so many draws on this map. As it was added new to the map pool, and we added the tier 8 tanks new as well, like tier 8 artilleries. Many teams use the tier 8 artillery on this map, and that also didn't work out.
No.
So big artillery doesn't work, small artillery doesn't work. So full firepower.
Basically, artillery doesn't work. That's what we're saying here. Early spot there on Skrills in the T1. That's not going to make too much difference. He will be, no doubt, pushing into one of those blocks on the left-hand side. As I would have expected, Kuraky have tried to lock down the left-hand side early to make sure they don't get pushed, and just sent that sole single T1 up onto the railway tracks on the right-hand side through that 7 line. He probably won't go all the way up there either, because that'll be quite risky early on. And it's a fairly straightforward setup with the tier 8 tanks all taking positions as you would expect, really. 3 slightly advanced, 2 defensive, a T1 on one side of the map on the 1 line, and another T1 on the 7 line.
really bad luck for Lucky Kuraky. If they don't have their eyes open and don't see that some buildings are being destroyed, or we can see here the wall was taken down. So if the T1 didn't notice this, they're not knowing that Striker out and Alpha Pro is pushing down his line, because the T1 won't spot him. T1 is behind this building here, so he has no direct vision.
You say that, and he's actually spotted Jarrow.
Yeah, IS-3 is on the other side, but there's 3 tanks pushing down on the right-hand side of the map here, and because there's no opening in the building or next to the building where he's standing, he can't be spotted. Now man's coming down, taking down, and that means these 3 5100s, they can just go through without being spotted at all. And I'm already really close to the cap circle here. Yeah,
that's bad news. And it's already sent alarm bells ringing for Lucky Kuraky right now, because they are on the march. Obiect has come all the way back from that train yard and has joined his compatriots right in the middle of the map. They've actually started to push through to the second square, as it were. And as you can see, just starting to mass here. Obiect is in there. Bart, now Matt comes up behind as well. Nia Pizzorni's in there. And Kenavan also too. So
and
lots of it. And that's because, guess what we've got going on right now in the cap circle? Yep, that's right. It's already begun.
And now we're wondering how Lucky Kuraky is going to react to this. I'm sending every single tank back here. Now, one tank is still standing in the IS-3. I'm not sure if he might want to just keep the back safe, make sure nothing flanks them. But no, it's looking fine for now. And all tanks are heading back, but they'll be facing 4 autoloaders on the other side.
Yes, they will indeed. The shells start to land, and right now it's about positioning for Lucky Kuraky. They just want to get themselves absolutely set. As you can see, Bart is just taking a much more defensive line. They're letting this count up quite quickly. They don't really have to push too fast. They know they've got 50 seconds or so to get rid of this one, as Quicksfield starts to fire down on the T1, spots it, and then the finishing shot comes in from Matt. Nicely done, decapped, and they're at 1-1 in score, because both of those T1s on either side have now gone down. So that early push, why do you think they pushed so early? Do you think it was just pressure, or do you think it was designed to try and actually get the cap capped?
I think it was just to put pressure on, to force Lucky Kuraky back to them and make them adapt to Alpha. Because if you're the adapting team, it's always harder. You have to try to find out what the other team's planning, what they're trying to do, where their tanks are. While if you defend, you push them to the position where you want them.
It was a beautiful shot from Kenavan there. I mean, you can see the angle on your screen that he had to find his way through. Let me just show you how that one played out. He was actually down here. Not only has he got an electric fence there, or a telegraph pole, he's got a tree there, a building there, another tree there, a ladder, a lamppost, a building, and a hedge, and somehow that shell found its way all the way through the broken fence and into that area there where the tank was, and he did do some damage as well.
It did, and now Jarrow's on his own. Jarrow's getting flanked by 3 autoloaders. He won't last long. Down to 500 HP, 194 left, and there comes a final shell from Obiect. Really nice game read from Lucky Kuraky. They realised this IS-3, he was sitting around the middle before. Hang on, the other team's on the other side. Let's get him. This is 8 tier points now, and now it's Alpha who is on the march here. They have to try to come up with some idea to catch up this situation.
Yes, they do. Bart now switching himself across to the other side of the map. He's still not. They still don't want to push here. They have spotted a 69 up on the 5 line, but they just don't want to push too fast, too quickly. I think they're just waiting this one out.
There's no need for that.
Well, I wonder if they want to get the next T1 was what I was going to say, and Matt blows Skrills to smithereens, and that does pick him up the second T1. So they've now lost their scouting ability, and they're down to just 4 Tier 8 tanks, and all hell's going to break loose now.
But I think that was the plan. If you look here, look at how both Tier 1s died. Sorry for that fast speed there. Look at both Tier 1s died. If they would have a T32 now, what would have been perfect? They could have just...
Both in the same place.
Yeah, they just pushed this T1 a bit to the side, park a tank behind it, perfect cover. Nothing can hit him anymore. And the only way to decap him is coming around the corner, have 3 autoloaders behind there, back him up. Easy game for them. But since they only have French tanks, it can't tank any shells anywhere. So unfortunate for them that they don't have the proper tanks to actually utilise this awesome, or really nice, I'm not sure if it was planned, but really nice positioning of dead tanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what the problem is now is it's left Alpha with very little options. They have to wait for Lucky Kuraky to push forward, or they need some sort of kamikaze 4-man dive into the cap circle, because that's really all that's left open to them right now. I'm not quite sure what else that they could do. Lucky Kuraky, on the other hand, have a lot of options right now, but they're playing this one very defensively indeed. They don't want to lose this. even though they have the advantage of the Tier 8 tank gone, which means they have the mathematical lead, not only in the scoreboard 3-1, but they have those all-important clear by 8 tier points right now. So they don't have to do anything too much. They can wait. They can see what Alpha Squad bring to them rather than getting caught out trying to rush down the other end to try and cap the circle.
Well, there's one good thing is that we know that Alpha is going to do something because they know they're not winning at the moment, so they have to do something. They can't just sit back and say, well, 3 minutes, we'll just screw it. Well, because we'll just go for kamikaze then. You got nothing to lose, haven't you? Because you're already losing. And this is what Alpha's doing now. They teamed up, all 3 AMX 5100s are together. One took a bit of damage, what we saw before. Robbers down to 1k HP. T69 come over the middle, and I think they just want to come from 2 nice angles. If they would have done this a minute earlier, they would have managed it because...
Oh, my goodness. They're all coming down the 1 line right now, and the 69 that they left over in J1 has really helped Lucky Kuraky out because they've spotted that train of tanks coming down the 1 line. It's now disappeared into the 2, so they've had to use a little bit of confusion in there to try and stop this push. But, as you can see on the screen right now, Alpha have decided just to slow up a little bit, and time is a real big factor for them right now. We've got 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining for Alpha Squad to do something. Otherwise, this is 1-1.
I think this is what Alpha's going for. They don't want to win the game. They might realise we're not going to win this game.
I think they want one tank.
Yeah, so let's just wait till the perfect time that we come around a corner, focus down 1 tank, and we can't lose any ourselves.
But you know, even then, they've got damage in that that group of 3 tanks.
Yeah, Robbins has took another shell. He's down to 833.
And yet, Kuraky have got nothing lost off their tier 8. So picking a fight with them would be unwise, I think, right now.
Yeah, they have to come from an angle where they're not expected, but Lucky Kuraky's doing it perfect. You've got the T69 covering the left-hand side, you've got the T1 covering the other side, and you've got all the other heavy tanks in the middle. So where do you want to come from? You can't come from behind, because behind, that's where the map ends. And, yeah, both sides perfectly shut down, and just killing the T1 is not enough either. So at this point, it's not looking that good for Alpha.
I tell you what, we're definitely going to get some more action on this map before the end of it. 1 minute 45 seconds right now. They've called more into J8, but actually the 5100 is actually spotted in E4 right now, and Near Pizzoni does land some damage on Mezabrows, and now he's damaged. Robbis is down to 833. He's also been spotted by Kenavan as well. I don't really understand why Alpha have allowed themselves to be picked off and damaged like that when they've got 1 minute and 20 seconds and they've got to find at least 1 tier 8 tank to kill.
Yeah, they're keeping Roberts back because they know he's in low damage. They don't want to lose him because they want to kill 1 tank. And if the low HP tank is there, he might be focused down. But he's going to be missing firepower. He's going to be missing in this fight.
Yeah, Manza's actually taken some more damage here for some really good positioning from Near Pizzoni. Here comes Mezabrows and Strike around the corner. They've both taken big damage early on. Only Kenavan has lost some damage. He's down to 327, and they've picked up another kill on Mezabrows now, and this is game over surely for Alpha Squad. They're going down on Ensk. Striker now stays. He does get 1 back, but we're back to the same position we were before. Only the trouble is now for Alpha, they've only got 3 tier 8 tanks, and all 3 of them are damaged.
That's right. It was actually looking really good for Alpha, but the final shells, they didn't do no damage. They was hitting modules, only doing 0 damage penetrations. The shells that were needed, and on the other side, they're even getting capped now. But the cap won't be enough. So
it won't be enough because they've only got, well, they've got 1 minute and 30 left, but we've only got 22 seconds of the game left. That's almost a pointless exercise because he can't cap in time, and they're not going to rush back there to do it either. If they know what's good for them, they're not going to rush back there anyway. And all Kuraky need to do now is gang up. But look at this. Manza's coming around the corner. I think OBX is not going to be able to see him first. First shot does land on OBX. Can he get this one? Second one does as well. And the third one. And they've managed to take the draw. What an amazing end from Manza. Perfectly positioned. And they've picked up the draw when we thought it was the most unlikely thing they would do. Double shell strikes onto him, and we've got yet another draw, but probably the most exciting draw we've ever had on Ensk.
I don't know what to say. That was amazing. Perfect timing. I was like thinking that T69, the idea was perfect because the T69 has 23 seconds reload. The French tank has 45 seconds. So there's only 22 seconds left. He realised that 5100 is not going to be reloaded. Come around the corner, IS-3 is looking the other direction. Come around the corner, do enough damage, bring 1 5100 around.
But there's an element of luck in there as well.
There is.
Had he come round the other side of the building, both of them were using their turrets to the right-hand side. the fact that he chose the other side to come round, and both of them had to spin those slow spinning turrets round, gave him the advantage to get 2 shots off very quickly
And the thing is,
draw the game.
You draw the attention to him, so it allowed the 5100 to come from the other side, do the final shell, he can take 1 shell damage himself, reverse, 3 seconds left, draw.
Amazing.
Insane.
We said this game would be incredible, and it's already turned out. But anyone that thinks that the skill level at the bottom of the World of Tanks Pro League is much lower than the top, forget it. It's not. It's a tough league for all of these teams, trust me. And individually, they are fantastic teams, and we're seeing some awesome skill from these two.
Coming up with such an idea, like on the fly, because you got the time ticking against you, and then you have to come up with an idea, how can we win this?
I mean, I said,
how can we
I said to you time and time again, how are Alpha going to win this game? They're not. That was the point. They could only get a draw. They knew they could only get a draw. And even with all the damage that they had through those 3 tier 8 tanks, somehow they've rescued it from the abyss, and we do have a draw on Ensk. If you're not familiar with World of Tanks Pro League rules, it means that we replay the map in its entirety, usually with the same tanks, but they can pick fresh tanks. So let's just check with them and see if they want to use those same tanks. I can't see why either team would want to change right now.
No, the tanks weren't the problem.
No.
I'm just really impressed from Alpha that they managed to keep calm and just use the tanks what they had.
It's funny, isn't it? Because actually, you look at them play that. You look at them play the first map; they were really good.
Yeah.
Look at them play the second map, and they've rescued that one from the the edge of darkness, and yet they're currently sitting in the relegation spots. And yet, how have they managed to sit there playing the way they are tonight?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe they're just up for this tonight because they know that this is the last chance.
But they should be up for every game then. Like,
of course, but what I'm saying is a long league, it's tough to be focused on every single game. But when you know that you have to win and there's no other option, maybe that's the time they rise.
But it's nice. It's good.
It is.
Amazing. And really important at this point of the league because they need the points. They want to stay in the league. And, well, this is where they can stay in there.
It is.
And if they keep up this...
into the game, we do have the game clock ticking down. Sorry, Stephen, you were saying.
If they keep this up and in the relegation, I don't see them having problems to win this for themselves. Like if they continue like this.
Well, I find it hard to believe they've lost their last 6 matches in a row.
It is, isn't it? It's
Again, just playing like this is.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Here we go again. Then Ensk take 2, and we're back underway.
Well, this is a draw where you could say. That was worth
I'm okay with that draw. I mean,
that's
normally we get draws of stalemate because nothing happens. That one was strategically a lot of fun and tactically also very good.
Alpha now changing their... sorry, we're starting off with Lucky Kuraky. Let's go for Lucky Kuraky's tactic
Lucky
first.
Kuraky actually have changed up a little bit here. They've decided this time around, look at the 5 men pushing very quickly. 4 tier 8 tanks already in the second square here. So a completely different set of tactics. CNNK is actually not even anywhere near them right now in that T1. Bart's going to go and join them as well. A very, very quick push onto the E line. Also, they've changed up because they've left Quicksville as the lone spotter at the cap. Now, what that tells me is this. They've pushed no one out to the right-hand side in the 7890 lines. They've left one T1 back at the cap station, which means he's spotting for anyone coming to the cap circle. And I think Lucky Kuraky are going to make a really audacious attempt at getting to the cap circle themselves. Look at how far advanced they are.
I think they are just really annoyed that they lost, that they didn't win the last game. And I think, like, no, screw this. This is our map. We're going to win this, and we're going to tell you how we're going to win this. And they're just going to push forward to it. On the other side, Alpha, they changed their tactic completely because first game they went over the right-hand side. Now they've got all their tanks on the left-hand side. Cleared the wall here in the base just to make sure that they can decap nice and easy. And they know that 2 IS-3s in the middle, usually, if you see 2 IS-3s, you know that the other tanks aren't far away. So they can guess that the most of the tanks are around the middle, maybe a T-69 on the right-hand side, but that's going to be KS' job to find out. He's charging down in his T1. At the moment, hasn't spotted anything, knows he's not spotted himself, so he can keep going. And as soon as he reaches the cap circle, knows he's not going to be spotted, I think the other T1's going to follow, and that's when the pressure's going to start.
Yeah, right now, CNNK is... sitting around the 5E line and just bombing backwards and forwards, really, trying to spot through that gap there. That's the gap he's looking through. Just trying to see any slice of tank that he can, but nothing doing just yet for him. Meanwhile, the other T1, look at this, sat there, having a cup of tea back at home.
That's right.
Doesn't need to move anywhere. That's a perfect spotting position as well. Like, you can pretty much see anything that comes into that circle. And if he can't see it, he knows pretty much it's going to be on the left of his screen.
I think that's even in his proxy,
Yeah.
proximity range. So, yeah, just about. Maybe at the very far corner he won't, but that narrows it down then as well. So if something's capping and you can't see him, you know exactly he's going to be there then, and that's okay for the moment.
Okay. However, we do have a little bit of movement here on the Lucky Kuraky side, because we're facing back to their own south cap circle right now, and you can see they are in retreat mode. Now, I'm wondering why, because they haven't spotted anything, and maybe that's why. Maybe they're worried.
Maybe that's exactly the reason.
Maybe they're worried they haven't seen anything at all, and actually they're going to get assorted on the right-hand side of the
That's
map.
what happened in the first game, and they didn't spot anything at the beginning either. So now not spotting. They spotted AMX50 100 pretty early, but he could be anywhere now. Now spotting the second AMX50 100 up there might mean, all right, we might not see any push, but still be on the safe side, be ready, be prepared, and start sitting around the cap circle. At the same time, KS is starting to push forward in his tier 1, taking down the buildings. He shouldn't be doing this because this is just giving away his position. It looks like he was actually just pressed on R, automatic drive forward, and then just tapped out of something because he went right through the buildings and noticed, oh,
I do want to draw your attention to one other thing, by the way. I don't know what these are.
They are birds.
Yeah, I know they're birds, but I don't know what they are.
Pigeons.
Pigeons. Do you think they're pigeons?
Yeah, they are
They've got bigger wings than pigeons, surely.
Big pigeons. They're Russian pigeons.
You might be asking why I'm following pigeons around the map, but we're on Ensk.
Well, these are Russian pigeons. That's why they have bigger wings.
Right. Okay. Anyway, back to the action. Right now, we have 4 tier 8 tanks sitting back towards the cap circle here. As you can see, they're all nicely lined up to shoot across. They had this set up on the first time round as well, just in case anyone came towards the cap circle. Those T1s were both picked off at the same place, just to the side of the awnings.
Do you think we're going to see the same thing again?
I'm wondering if that's going to be a replay.
The difference is...
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, this is not a rerun of the last map.
But the difference is, Alpha has 1 tank more. So what can I do with 1 tank more then? Maybe even take down 2 tanks and then let the time count down. But now we're just following Mensa here. He's heading back towards the base. He was thinking about pushing down the right-hand side, but I think they realised, hang on, we had ice freeze in the middle. They're not there anymore. What's happening here? They might have went back to the base. So get the T69 back, group up with your team, and then push as a team. And looks like this is what they're going for. 5 minutes left on the clock, so it might be too early for a push yet. Alpha might think, yeah, they might really be thinking, let's do the same again. They might be the same position. And it worked perfectly in the first round, so why not work again? It was close, it was a hard one, but now with 1 tank more, it makes it easier, and then maybe even safe for them.
Yeah. Still slightly confused, I have to say, as to what's going on. Right now, though, there is 1 T1 who is very, very advanced indeed. You can see him, he's almost off the edge of the map. That's actually in B1, and right on the edge of B1. So the cap circle is just literally behind those buildings in front of him.
Mensa is trying to connect some shells. He just tried a blind shot onto the position where the T1 was before. Didn't manage to connect anything there, so he's trying to come around the angle. And he might even just go for the spotting, but he has to watch out because he doesn't know what's behind the T1. And if you have a T1 so far forward, you might be expecting that he's going to be the spotter for some sniping tanks right behind him, and that's why he's doing it safe at the moment. But he might try to get rid of him, because as long as T1's there, they can't push, and that's why he has to die. Now we see Mansa, he's coming around the corner, he looks like he's going right towards the tier 1 here.
Yeah, we have
I'm not sure, is it CNNK? Or which one is it?
It is CNNK,
yeah, it is.
It's very well advanced, and he might come under some fire, as you rightly pointed out. Stuck as he is right now as well, because if that C69 gets any close, oh, he's going to see him, oh, and he's going to go down very easily indeed. And bye-bye T1.
That was nicely done from Mansa. He had to watch out that he doesn't get shot, so he went just around this corner, kept in mind, this building's giving me cover, there won't be anything so far forward, so let's just keep behind this building, went right to this angle, clipped the shell into the tier 1, and then instantly went back to safe mode.
With 3 minutes remaining, there is no clear leader right now. It might be 1-0 in terms of tank kills, but it was only a tier 1, so it doesn't actually make any difference. Alpha, of course, 1-0 up if you're just joining us on the World of Tanks Pro League. Match day 21 of 22 in the season. Yes, we'll wrap the entire season up this week and find out who finishes where in the league. Next week we'll have the playoffs, and the week after that we'll be off to DreamHack for the finals. Can't believe it. It's only around the corner.
A really important thing had just happened. The T69 managed to spot the IS3 in the base. And their old position where they won, or where they... We can call it a kind of win, because it managed not to lose. Even though it ended draw, but it was kind of a win for Alpha in that situation. And they realised, hang on, the IS3's there again. Are we seeing the same thing, what we just saw at the end of the game? And then it started to team up. The IS3's there, the 5100s are coming, the T69's nearby, and it looks like they want to go for it here.
Yeah, there was
Jarrow did take a bit of damage.
Yeah, he did take a bit of damage to him. He's down to 1,065, so almost a third of his damage gone with one shell. So nicely done by Lucky Kuraky. They've inflicted the first bit of damage other than losing their own tier 1. Kenavan just here is reversing back for some cover right now and trying to make sure that he's completely safe. Quicksville, I think, is well, he's okay where he is right now, I suppose. But if Kenavan does jump out here, there are going to be 3 tanks already lining up behind him. And he's going to be able to take a good shot at that, and he does pick up the first shot and gets it off without getting any damage. Nicely done by Kenavan, but here comes the cavalry. They do come around the shot. The first shell wasn't good, though. Second one will pick up the tracks of Kenavan and disable him momentarily. Easily repaired, though, with that repair kit. Now a single shell through the side of the house does land some more damage. Kenavan doing an absolute monster amount of damage on these tanks. All 3 of them have taken significant damage, and Mesobrow's on the verge of going down here with 1 minute remaining. Are they going to go for this one? Kenavan down to 20 points of health, and Jarrow's down to 14. You could literally walk up and slap the turrets and they would die. So low on health, it's unbelievable. Here comes the cavalry now. Matt round the corner. They've got another one alongside him here. All 3 of them trying to go for this, and they are going to take down 2. Brilliantly done from Kuraky. Unbelievable. They've taken out a T1 and a 5100, sorry, an IS3 in there. And here comes Kuraky again. OBX is taken down a second. And Kuraky are stretching out for home here and have a 4-1 lead with 30 seconds remaining. And it's all gone swimmingly well for the Poles.
That was a nice engagement from Lucky Kuraky there. They just managed to keep their tanks alive, not taking any damage and doing a lot themselves. Here comes Matt Pierre around the corner.
Matt Pierre has now got a chance to finish off the last 2 here. The last 2 tier 8 tanks. Striker down to 572. Roberts down to 393. It's not going to make any difference, but just to rub salt in the wound, they're going to kill off KS as well. And with 8 seconds remaining here, Alpha Squad have gone down to pure Polish firepower.
Alpha Pro tried to do the same again. Tried to take this 1 tier 8 tank down and get out of there, win the game with a tier point difference. But Lucky Kuraky said, no, you've done it once. Once is enough. This is our game. And they took it.
Interestingly, Kenavan did pick up a kill in that for 1,193, but he dealt that damage across 3 different tanks. It was actually Matt PL in the IS3. 2,328 damage. No kills, but really, that's a major contribution from that IS3. You really need that from your tier 8 tanks to come into the game.
That's right, 2,300. That's one of the top amount of damage we saw in the Pro League here. Over 2,000 damage is always good. You always say tier 8 should do the damage what he has in HP.
Yep.
And that's, I think on the IS3 is 1.5,
yeah,
1.4.
Yeah, 1,500.
Yeah, doing 2.8.
Yep.
You can see he's done more than his job.
Yeah, absolutely. So good game. Well played, Lucky Kuraky. Waited very patiently for the attack to come. And when it came, it was an identical push from Alpha Pro, and they knew exactly how to deal with it. Fantastic from Lucky Kuraky, and we're tied up at 1-1.
We are. Oh, you know what? We forgot it again. We even said at the beginning, we're not going to forget it. Oh, right, give it to me. What's your prediction?
For me, I have to go with Lucky Kuraky.
You going for Lucky Kuraky?
Yeah, I think because I've sort of followed them through the series. If you remember, in week 7, Lucky Kuraky were actually 0-7 after 7 games.
Yeah.
That means they've played more than 50% of the teams in the league and not won a single match. Then they won a game. Admittedly, it was against Avisha, so you were kind of like, oh, well, they're the bottom 2 teams. They were bound to win one of those kind of games. And then they went on a bad run again, and I thought, you know what, they're doomed. They've only got 3 points.
They was even at the bottom the whole time, weren't they?
They were at the bottom of the table for the entire season until week 17, when they lifted themselves off with a win. They've then gone on a bit of a tear, and they've won 3 out of their last 4 games. So I think they're the formed team. I think they've finally clicked into gear. They've got the right team compositions, the right strategies, and I think they'll take it this evening.
I'm going for 3-2-1 for Alpha.
3-2-1?
No, 3-1. So
3-1. Okay,
yeah.
fine. I thought it was 3-2-1. Is there 3 teams playing?
But just the first game. The first game they played so strong. The second game, the way they drawed it, was just insane.
Yep. I mean, take nothing away from them. They have played, you know, they played fantastically well. but I think Lucky Kuraky have just got. I think they've just got too much tonight as well. I think it's going to be 3-2. Mines being the last round as well. I think Lucky Kuraky will take it on Mines.
Nah, I have to disagree.
Good.
See an
I'm
Abbey
glad
now.
about that, because if you agree with me, it'd be a pretty boring show, wouldn't it?
It would.
Right, we're ready for tank picks for map number 3, which is going to be Abbey, and in fact,
it's going to be artillery.
They've already kicked off, and it will be artillery. There's no doubt about that in this one. 1390 times 2 for both teams to kick us off, so all pretty standard. And then comes a little bit of a change. Lucky Kuraky with a T71 and a T1. So that means we know what's coming artillery-wise, because that T71 is a Tier 7 tank and not a Tier 8. So I think we might even get
Tier 2
double
light, or even a double artillery, that's right.
Mans has gone for a T1 and a T69. So they've not exposed what artillery they're going to take just yet, and that's mind games right there. Clever, because we've said this a number of times. Some teams just pile it through. They don't care. They just tell them exactly what they're going to use, and then they get a chance to counter that, and that'd be weird. Kuraky, they've gone for the Bison and the T69 alongside.
And also already picking the Bison, so they already gave away the artillery here, but it's there's still a possibility for a second artillery in there.
There is a possibility. Manza has gone for a more standard approach with a single artillery, that Tier 7 Lorraine. 51 coming in, and they've gone for the T2 Light, which is obviously a Tier 2 tank, to back it up. So we know that they're going for single artillery alone, and we should get confirmation of a second piece of artillery coming in from Kuraky. No.
That's 8 tier points left.
Oh, of course
there would have been that would have been too much of an investment with 8 tier points.
Yes, you're right. No, so you're right. So they've just literally gone for the Bison as the more cost-effective measure.
Yeah.
My bad, not double artillery at all. What am I talking about? T69 is their last pick, as is Alpha Pros as well. So they've gone for a 69 in there twice. They've also got two 1390s, a T1, a T2 Light, and the Lorraine Tier 7 artillery. So heavier firepower, but as we've said before, in terms of damage dealt for tier points, the Bison provides an excellent value for money option.
800 per tier point we had in the last show.
Yep, which is a lot more than the
only
Lorraine, which was like 200 or something.
150 or something for the Lorraine.
Yeah.
So definitely worth picking.
We're all ready by the looks of things. Alpha have got themselves ready, just waiting for Lucky Kuraky now to go into map number 3. We're at 1-1, nicely poised. And a recap
perfect for my 3-1 prediction.
A recap for you of the two teams and what it means. If Alpha win this, they will back tied level on 15 points in 10th and 11th place. The two teams will be tied heading into the final match on Thursday night, where they both have difficult matches to deal with, and then the outcome of that will decide who goes down and out of the WoT Pro League. We're about to get underway then for map number 3 on Abbey.
Abbey. Nice Abbey in the middle. Really nice. I'm pretty sure this is an Italian map, by the way.
God damn it.
I like Italy. So you got the Abbey in the middle. We're going to most likely see the T2 Light go up there just to cover the middle. On the other side, we might see the T71 because there's no other possibility to head around that corner or around that area of the map. I already see some pings going on from Alpha towards the left-hand side, and that's where I predict most of the action is going to happen. You got the nice right
lots
side.
of pings going in from Kuraky as well.
Oh, down the left-hand side as well?
Along E1.
So that's good. That's good. Because both pings in the same direction.
Yeah.
And it looks like Alpha's not going there. Even though the ping there.
Lucky Kuraky, though. I think the pings were to say we think they're going to go down the left-hand side alongside that one road, which is a windy, weavy road alongside the lake. And that's exactly what we've got so far. Just looking back towards the camp circle, they've left 2 back there. One is that T71 with Matt, and the T1 of Quicksville are all left over there. Meanwhile, over the other side of the map, they've sent 4 running along. There has been a bit of damage already on near.
He dropped down the hill.
I think he
did.
I think he fell off that hill and has ended up damaging himself. That could be critical.
Because that's a one-shot damage you're taking. There's 200 around 200 damage.
Not quite one shot, but it's a substantial amount of damage on that.
Like 10, 20 HP, okay, fair enough, happens. But 200 nearly, that's quite a lot.
952 he's on right now, so that's a bad start from Kuraky. Let's hope it doesn't cost them the game. And they are going to set up on this left-hand side, currently sitting around the sort of G2 area. which they often do. I mean, this is a fairly popular spot to set up. They usually put 2 tanks back here, which they've done, 1 pushing forward on the side, just going backwards and forwards to spot, and then a man on the slip road, as it were, that's overlooking the Abbey. So that's a fairly standard setup right now from them.
That's a nice position as well, because he can cover the middle, he can cover at the top, but to kill him, you have to come around the corner. If you come around the corner, you've got 3 tanks backing him up. So that's a really nice position there. On the other side, we already see that the WoT 69 is spotted around that area. So again, Alpha Pro can expect more tanks being in that direction. 2 AMX 5100s going down the right-hand side. This road used to be quite a hard position to push just because it was a one-way road, kind of, but now with the physics, you can go up the hill, you can escape through the middle, you can go down the bottom lane. You've got a lot of possibilities there. They're heading all the way up to, towards the cap circle, noticing they're not being spotted so they can keep up the aggression. T69 waiting in the middle to back them up. They even spotted a T1, really important.
I was going to say there is a T1 back there just waiting for any sign.
And he gets killed.
And he's going to go down very early. So Quicksville's gone, and are Kuraky going to react to this or not? That's the question. No, because so far they haven't. They've decided that's a bit of a bait, and I don't think they want to take it. And
Alpha, they're scared that some kind of counter push is coming, so they're heading right back, being ready for to defend the base or just be ready to run away from any tanks pushing towards them. But that Team 1 was bad positioning, because usually we see the Tier 1. You can put it up on K3, and maybe I can just quick show you. This might not look that nice because I'm going to speed right over there to save some time. Here we go. Feels like World of Warplanes here. Definitely worth trying as well. Just advertise that while we're waiting to get to this position. So here we go. This is where you usually put your Tier 1. You put it somewhere up this hill. You can stick him in this bush right here. He's impossible to kill. The only way you can kill him, or the only way you can spot him, is you go all the way up to this hill. If you go up there, you're going to take so much damage yourself. But he can, sitting up there, he can spot the whole cap circle. And that's where you want the Tier 1. Put him on that area, it works, but he won't last long. And that's what we see here. That Tier 1 is missing now, and that's important spotting ability missing in the base.
Just flipping over to artillery, because we don't really see too much artillery in the game. And I particularly like the paint job. Iman. Yeah. My Jamaican artillery from Kunzios. So, yeah, we don't see the artillery all that much because, well, it's difficult to see them fire. I said to you last week, I would love to be able to follow the shot that they fire and see where it lands, because there are some very highly skilled artillery players. I think
artillery shots take the most skill, because normal shots you can just aim at the tank kind of. You have to predict a bit where it's driving. With artillery, you have to predict even more. You have flying. You have the distance of your shell has to fly. It can take up to 3 seconds, 2-3 seconds for a shell to actually hit, and then you have to realize, all right, this tank is going this direction, he might turn there, and he's going to turn there, and then he's going to do this. And that's where you have to land your shell.
There was a bit of artillery fire, which landed there. And that's the weirdest piece of artillery fire I've seen for a while. We're not firing into a blind bush. It's not a known place, so I can only imagine that was a misfire.
Yeah, I think he had a weird angle. Or maybe not aim perfectly and just thought, hang on, I want this to hit this T-71, it's going to move in a bit. Let's just try a lucky shot.
Maybe.
It can hit, it cannot hit. It's like a 50-50 kind of, and there we see that it actually went to the other 50%.
Yes. Doesn't always work out. I would just
what if it does work?
I was just praising, you know, artillery players, and then... and
then you see that.
Then you see that, which looked like something I'd done.
But that's where this in-eye point of view from artillery will come in handy, so you can actually see where he was aiming and what he was thinking there.
Object right now is inside the village. And Column's now stuck a little bit in there, actually. As you can see, it's quite tight down there. I don't think I could manoeuvre anything down that way, that's for sure.
Oh, you got a tank. You don't care.
True. I mean, let's just crush all the houses, right?
Yeah,
these people don't need anywhere to live.
Yeah, exactly. The weather's nice in Italy.
In Spain, too. 4:40 remaining in this third map. 1-1 right now between Lucky Kuraky and Alpha. These two battling over the relegation spot right now, and the loser gets it, and that's why they don't want to be a loser. T69 spotted inside the village. I don't know if that was... No, it wasn't proxy, so they must have... Yeah, they must have spotted that through the middle somehow. I'm unsure why, though, because Object is in there, but he's not really looking at too much right now. I mean, let's just go down there. That's his view. I mean, he can't see anything through there. And now we have an allied base again. So this is going to force the hand, or is it? Because actually it was a Tier 1.
That was a blind shot.
And Matt has picked up the kill. I don't know if that was a blind kill or not.
Yeah, it was completely blind shot. We can see, because we got this one mod installed, we can see the last spots. And I think, yeah, I didn't see he was
No,
spotted.
I don't think it was. I think he spotted him from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because he was... Look, that's where he is right now, and I think he pretty much spotted that one, so...
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah. I think just
But
about
nice,
managed to spot it. Oh, has
what's
taken some damage here from Skrills, who's now coming under fire inside the village here, and look at that. The artillery landing very close to Matt, who's now down to 347. He's only in that tier 7, and it only starts with 840 health as well, so almost half of what a tier 8 tank would normally have. Exchanging that for some flexibility and some speed, that turret moving around very quickly.
But in the middle, we have to watch out. Skrills is down to 756 HP, and here come 2 tier 8s. They're going to just focus down Skrills. And in the meantime, Striker takes some damage himself as well. And now Skrills facing 2 tanks, doing some damage, but that won't be enough here. 100 HP left, and here comes a final shell from Object. And they're just going to back off. Yep. And there again, we have 8 tier points difference.
We'll say
oh, no, sorry, we had a kill on the other side.
we had a kill on the other side, actually, because KS in the Lorraine, it was KS that was the man that was using artillery, has picked himself up a kill as well.
And now here comes a counter push onto Object. Striker coming, Metz and Bratz coming from the other side as well, and Mansa actually taking him down, and now Bart's all on his own, facing 3 tanks here.
Yeah, he is. He's got one man with him somewhere, not quite close enough. Near Pizzoni does come round the corner. The Bison actually picks up the kill onto Striker. Nicely done, but now we're at 3 versus 3. This could still go any way, and do you know what? There is no tier difference between them right now either.
The artillery size is a bit different.
The artillery is different, but there is not enough between them to guarantee one of these 2 teams a win. 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining, and it's a 3 versus 3. Matt on 347 health, Near Pizzoni on 730 health. Neither of these 2 tanks are the most healthiest. Even at the beginning, they only have, what, 2,000 health between them. And they're both having to take up a very defensive position right now. And Manza has picked up the kill now on Matt, and that's a game breaker right there. And now Near Pizzoni with 730 health, 67% of it. And Kunzio are the last 2 alive right now. And I think, yeah, artillery is going to rain down on it.
We have to quick change the screens because KS and his Lorraine is right behind Niep. I'm just going to call Niep what he did. He did miss. On the other side, he did manage to connect the shell, but Mazza's coming to get revenge. Mezabras is coming, and I think he was trying to push him down the hill.
Mezabras had his tracks disabled there, and Near Pizzoni's got a chance to reply back now. He's now got a health advantage. 218 plays 449. One more shell to land. They're both in the middle of reload right now. They both have to back away from each other at the same time, and neither of them are going to win that one, and it remains at 2-2, and we've got a minute remaining of the game, and right now there are not enough tier points between these 2 teams, and I think we might well be headed for a draw, Abby.
Yeah, that Bison has to die here. Mansa's trying to spot the Bison. He thinks he's down at the bottom, didn't spot him there. Roberts is pinging on G2, and that's exactly where the Bison is.
He's not far away. Right now, that G2, that Bison right now has got to run for his life because he can't go down. If he does, they've lost the game.
If he gets around the corner, he's safe because then Mansa won't spot him. This is going to be like a matter of seconds. He does get around the corner, and if Mansa doesn't drive up there, he's going to miss him, but Mansa's going up there. 31 seconds left. No, he's staying down the bottom. He's staying down the bottom.
Is he going to go low or high? He's going to go low. He's going to go low, and that's going to save the game.
But
my goodness.
He has to stop. He's keep on driving. He might come on the other side, and Mansa's going to spot him.
He will, and we've got 18 seconds remaining now. Can Kunzio stay alive in that tier 2 Bison? Is this going to be the difference between the 2 teams? Here he comes around the corner. He's not going to spot him, is he? He has spotted him, but he can't land the shot. 4 seconds remaining, and this one's going to end in a draw. Unbelievable tension right at the end of the game. And Alpha have drawn another map that they probably should have won.
This was the other way around. This was a win for Alpha, and Kuraky managed to draw this, even though it was their loss.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm saying Alpha really should have won this match.
Yeah,
I felt they should have won the draw on Insk as well first time round, but blow me down with a feather. Can we cope with any more tension tonight? It's still 1-1, and we've drawn on Abbey as well.
That was like a second earlier. He would have spotted the Bison going around the corner, but the Bison just managed to get around the corner, and then Menza drives along like, where's the Bison?
Yeah.
And that was close. And then
I think he then figured it out as well.
Yeah, and then the other side, if the Bison would have turned around, he would have been killed by Mensa from the other side then. But just this random turn out of nowhere, it's just like, incredible.
The interesting thing as well, if we just check in with the scores, is that Manza picked up 3 of those kills for 1,114, just couldn't get that vital last kill onto the Bison. who himself had a kill. So did the Lorraine on the other side. And we said this before, 808 for 1 kill. I'll take that from a Tier 2 tank. On the other hand, Lorraine, Tier 7, 1 kill for 755. So 100 damage per tier point. Much better from the Bison. Also, Nia Pizzorni picked up 1,700 damage for 1 kill. We are about to go live, so let's drop you into the second coming of Abby. I had no idea that would end in a draw like that.
No, I thought I've had that one. Just because there was 2 Tier 8s facing a Tier 8 and a Tier 7, both damaged. And all they had to do was kill the Bison. They didn't even have to chase these other 2 tanks. So, it was a close one.
It was indeed. We are about to get underway then on Abbey. This is our 4th map of the night, but the score remains 1-1. And one of these 2 teams has to break the deadlock. Which one's it going to be? Very, very tense evening for both of these teams tonight, because they know, well, Alpha would definitely be relegated if they lose this match, because they would mathematically not be able to catch Lucky Kuraky after this. They would be too many points behind. They would be 6 points behind them with 1 game remaining. On the other hand, if Alpha win, they do give themselves a lifeline and go into the final game of the season with a chance to stay in the World of Tanks Pro League. So a massive, massive season on the line. Their entire season, their entire career so far in World of Tanks is on the line tonight.
That's right. Looking on the other side, Alpha is just doing exactly the same what they've done in the first game. T2 light in the middle, just spotting what's going on. T1 on the left-hand side, both 39s down the right, and there were 2 69s just ready to adapt to anything. And it looks like...
yeah, over on Lucky Kuraky's side, it's exactly the same deal. Bison going up towards H2. T1 left at the back, and do you know what? They've put a T1 up on the hill. Let me just show you.
They done it exactly.
Yeah, they've taken a more defensive approach right now. Again, I'm just going to disable that because I can get over there quicker. Quicksville has taken up the Snee Hill.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to call it from now on. We're going to call it the Snee Hill.
I'm happy with that.
There it is. So you can see him right on top of that hill. Well, actually, he's slid down. It's a bit greasy, obviously, this time of the year. It's obviously a bit dewy. So he's slid down, but he's there, and that's what he's doing. He's spotting from there. He knows that they're going to get aggressive, so therefore has decided that Valor is the best course of action here, and he's going to be a bit more defensive. Meanwhile,
on the other side, a T1 got killed.
They have got a T1 down already, so losing one doesn't really matter too much.
We have here we see the T1 there. 39 to carry around the corner. Took him 2 shells to kill him, but have enough time to back off and reload. So that's 1 T1. That's the spotting. That's the eye's gone on the right hand side, on the left hand side.
I was going to say it's like losing an eye.
And that's what they definitely needed this. So the T2 light from the middle had to now relocate. Is now towards the left hand side of the map, just in a proxy spotting range, just to make sure. I think he can only just spot what's coming on the top. And there we see it. He managed to spot Object in his...
Object was actually on the march up there and has decided since to back away once he knew he'd been spotted. Knows that Jaro is just behind him.
The other side, we see the 3090 trying to get the T1 kill again. He first thought it might be the same position as the T1 was before. Wasn't there, so he learned out his mistakes. But now he knows, okay, if he's not there, it's going to be one of these bushes at the back of the cap circle.
I think he knows he's on the Snee Hill, and that's why we're getting some blind shots from the artillery onto the top of Quicksville, but that didn't land. You'd know if it landed because Quicksville would just disintegrate. That's the way it works.
He's quite lucky there, because if the shot would have went towards the bush, that would have killed him. Even with a splash damage, it should have been enough to kill him. Now he knows artillery's onto him, so he might go in the same position where the artillery shot before, because there's a saying back then in the Second World War, an artillery shell never hits the same position again. But I would never rely on that either. If some artillery shells coming down, I'll just run in a complete different direction. But T1's safe for now. Metzbras is just going to stick around there. Should be spotted pretty soon, and that's when he's going to know where the T1 is.
Got a little bit of artillery movement. Kunzios is just going to push up a little bit towards that G2 spot, I would imagine, where he was before. And see if he can get a little bit more. Well, actually, he's more towards H2, actually, which would give him some sight across the map, across the lake. They have spotted a 1390 that's managed to penetrate the H line right now and is going way, way, way down towards the cap circle. Is going to come under fire here from Matt through the bush, is he?
He wants to get that tier 1. He wants to find a tier 1.
He does want to get that tier 1.
He does spot him.
Has been fired on by Matt Piel. Nicely weighted by Matt Piel and did land the first shell. Down to 935 now. I wonder if Mezzabrowse can get away with that. Artillery lands at the... Well, right on the edge of Matt Piel, but didn't land anything. And Mezzabrowse is coming under a lot of fire here.
Yeah, he got shot by the artillery, and now aim is 3090. He's down to 519 HP. Really has to watch out. Artillery shell did miss this time, but he's still taking a lot of damage here. 219 HP left. One more shot that should seal the deal for him.
Whoa,
and here he comes.
He goes.
And that's one tier 8 tank down again.
Nicely done. Near Pizzorni picking up the kill that time round.
But we know how Alpha deals with a missing tier 8 tank. They just wait until the last minute and draw the game.
Yes. I don't think that Lucky Kuraky are going to let them get away with that right now.
No,
CNNK, interestingly, in that T69, was coming back towards the cap circle in that direction, and 3 of his teammates went rushing by, and it was almost like he went, "Where are you guys going?" I don't understand.
I missed something here.
Yeah, so
yeah,
now he's spun round and now taken up a more standard position. This is that 2-tank entrance that we were talking about before. Very standard on this particular side of the map.
I think if they wanted a T69 on that higher ground just because he has a better gun depression, so he can aim a bit lower. The one T69 is already sitting down the bottom, so the AMX 3090s, they're not as good on that position as a T69. So just keep him back and let the AMX 3090s go somewhere else. Check out what's going on. Also the faster tank, so this one can go a bit further forward, see what's going on, and then if you get spotted, fall back pretty fast.
Let's just give you an overview of where Lucky Kuraky is set up right now, because they are very concentrated. There isn't a single player, well, I say that there isn't a single player, there isn't a single tier 8 tank that isn't already involved in this sort of, I wouldn't even call it a push, but it's more a strategical standpoint right now. They've still got the T1 back at home, just at the top of your picture right now. The tier 7 that they've got is also covering the cap circle as well as he looks across the map. And then you've got all of the tier 8 tanks plus the Bison, which has really pushed forward. It's now up to the F line here. And I think they might be just about ready to push in here. You can see Nia Pizzorni is going across the river in towards the Abbey area as Manza is going to come under fire right now and has come under a tremendous amount of fire. He's already down to 5'8". He's been set on fire. He's got no fire extinguisher in there. And luckily, I think that one's just about survived okay with 530 health.
He's lucky for him that no modules were destroyed. His radio's down, but that's not such a big deal. But looking at the tanks, because Alpha started with 1 tier 8 tank less anyway, because they took the bigger artillery, now they're actually down 2 tier 8 tanks. It's all down to the artillery. It's all down to the Lorraine that he hits the shells. Maybe even get a one-shot in there just to even things up here. Mansa has to watch out, though. He's down to 500. It looks like Lucky Kuraky, they realise what's going on. Two tanks are heading towards Abbey. I think they're just going to go over there and try to kill Mansa. Mansa's trying to escape here. It looks quite funny how he's trying to drive over this little wall, but he just can't get over there. So he's turning around and he has to be ready for the push. And here it comes.
Yeah, it is going to come in now. Object and Nia Pizzorni both going in here. Nia Pizzorni does take a little bit of damage as Object comes flying around the corner. Can't find that man, though. They're still searching for him. I don't think they're going to get him right now. I think he's going to get away with it. Oh, a single shot came in there and blew him away from the Lorraine. A one shot into Object, and he's gone down. Nia Pizzorni's down to 565, and they've got to be careful here or they could throw this one away.
That's right. Mansa just managed to get over the wall, so Mansa's safe now as well, and he has a nice position here. If that AMX 3090 comes a bit too far around that corner, he's going to take some damage from this from the T69 as well. And now on the other side, the 3090s, they're heading towards the middle. They're going to kill him.
Oh dear, let's switch over because Nia Pizzorni is going to come under an immense amount of damage here. Striker does take a little bit of damage, but some nice manoeuvring. He's got him down to just 18 points of health. Final shot will come in. He did manage to get one more shell off, and Kunzios will land some Bison damage, which is deadly onto the top of Striker. And we're now down to a 3-2 scoreline. But more importantly, 2 tier 8 tanks down on both sides. We're currently at even Stevens with 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's just, they managed to draw this one out again. We see Alpha, they can just stay calm. There's no need for Lucky Kuraky to push here. They had the big advantage, and especially not a split push. And that T7, he's nearly dead.
Yeah, he's down to 100 points of health right now, so he can't afford to push forward. Kunzios only has 120 anyway, and he's in a Bison, so he's not really going to run away from anywhere else. We've also got Quicksfield still alive, and he's a T1, so he's got 115. So that's 3 tanks with less than 600 health between the 3 of them. And all they've really got to cope with right now are their 2 tier 8s, which right now, Bart and CNNK are both inside the village, and they need to be careful here.
The tier 1's going to die down the right-hand side of the map here. Mansa's coming around the corner. He should just bump right into this tier 1. Just around the corner, and here he comes.
Oh,
and
my
that's
goodness.
he misses his shell, though. But Quicksilver shouldn't last long, and that's the final shell. That's one tier 1 down. And if that tier 2 light carries on pushing, he's going to get the Bison. But he decided to turn around. He knew he was spotted.
Wow. Bison fell off the side of the road. That won't make too much difference. He will survive in there, okay. But that was a bit of a, well, I don't even think he can get up that place.
To be honest,
I don't think he can get out.
No, he's a bit stuck down there.
Oh dear.
But to be honest, this is actually Alpha's win at the moment. Well, they should win this game, but they don't realise it. They don't know what's going on. They don't know where the tanks are. They don't know where the damage has to be done, and they don't know how much damage has already been done.
No, we've only got 32 seconds remaining. What have we got here? 16, 23 tier points for Alpha, 23, 25 for Lucky Kuraky. So still tied up right now.
That tier 7 has to die. He's 100 HP. If they would know this tier 7 only has 100 HP left, they would go for it, but they don't know it. That's the problem. They kill that tank, kill the Bison, they have the tier points advantage, they win the game.
Yeah, and we are going to head to a draw here. Just a few seconds remaining. We'll confirm that we will have our second consecutive draw on Abbey. Who knew that Abbey was a draw map?
Well, with these two teams, it was a close one.
Who would know?
That's right.
Really, who knew? Who knew that Abbey would end up in double draws right now? Not a huge amount of damage to talk about on either side, really, other than the fact that the artillery was very effective. Again, the Bison with 1395 damage and a kill, and the Lorraine picking up 1 for 1216, and that was pretty much all she wrote for that map.
That's right.
Fairly similar to what we saw on the first time round on Abbey. What are they got to do to change things up here?
That's a good question, because both teams want to change their lineup. They feel comfortable with their lineup, but they can't find the right angle to come from. If that tier 1 would have changed, that would have changed the story as well. The positioning of the tier 1 Quicksilver it was in the base. So that was one important move. Even managed to take down a tier 8 tank, if you think about it, because he drew all the attention towards him. A tier 8 tank tried to kill him, didn't manage it, got killed by the artillery. So that was one important situation there. But to be honest, I don't know what they can come up with here.
Yeah, let's just let them know that we're ready if they want to carry on and get back into the game immediately. Hard to know how to separate these two teams right now because they are just so evenly matched. I mean, a drawn Ensk, okay, we accept that. A drawn Abbey happens every now and again, but 2 draws on Abbey? What is going on?
I think it's both. What we noticed is the longer the season went, the more defensive the teams were getting. Just like the more important their matches were,
of course,
the more they was trying to sit back then, because I thought, well, entertainment, fair enough, it's always important, but it's more important for the players to actually win their games, and especially this match where Alpha has to win to have a chance, Lucky Kuraky has to win to be safe. It's a lot on the line here.
It is a huge amount of line. It's survival. That's what's on the line right now. One of these two teams will be automatically relegated. That's the only thing we do know right now. We just don't know which one it's going to be. Lucky Kuraky win this game and they're safe. They know that much. If Alpha win, they've given themselves a lifeline for the final game of the season. And we are now back in game. So let's drop you back into Abbey for the 3rd time this evening. And we've now played 2 Ensk, 3 Abbeys, and 2 other maps. We've now played 7 maps this evening, and it's still 1-1.
Yeah, that's right, 1-1. And
okay, I'm confused by the hand signals that's going on.
You have to learn. You know, we're playing military. We're watching a military game. You have to learn like the charge or stand, hold.
Yeah. So just tell me, what have I missed?
No, Tim's doing it on the paper. We have to do it the modern way.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, no, I've got it now. Okay.
Yeah, that's
good, man. All right.
So, game has started, and again, Lucky Kuraky, sorry, Alpha has not changed a single thing, and then going for the same. Oh, actually, they're sending a 1390 towards the middle. They only change it, but I'm not sure how long it's going to stick around there. And the other side, but a few changes. No, exactly the same on the other side. Melly has obviously found something very, very amusing, which we'll check in with her at the end of the match. In fact, if this is a draw, we're going to go to Melly after this game, all right? I think it was like this Apollo hand move again.
Right. Oh, the Apollo hand move, yeah.
Rock,
paper, scissors, guys. Anyway, yes, we are back underway, and it is a pretty similar setup, as you can see right now from Lucky Kuraky. Double end towards the back
The
of
only
that.
difference is the T71. He actually went for a kind of a trip through the right-hand side. Thought, no, I don't like this. I like my heel a bit more. So he's going back to the standard positioning.
We've actually got a slightly different setup this time around. They've let Bart back, but 3 of them have pushed forward right now. As you can see, they've made a bit of a charge up this right-hand side 2 line.
And they would have been spotted as well. The T69 was spotted, but both 39s weren't. So the T69 might decide to drive back, and just like he might drive back, get spotted again, saying, "All right, guys, look at me, I'm driving back." But they push the other T69 in the front, so they have the same amount of tanks, but then just playing some mind games there. But it looks like not even bothering sending him back.
No, they're not bothered at all about it. Object is going to be spotted first. Now Robis is up there in that T1,
and he just drops down that hill. He just gets away.
Run,
Forrest, run!
And
he should be safe. And he's going to go to the nice position where the T2 light was in the last game after Robis died. So he should be able to proxy spot anything coming up that hill if they come from a wrong angle. But it looks like they're just going to back off because, again, every time a team push, I noticed as well, every time a team push and they get shut down by some spotting whatever, they straight away turn around and heads back to the base because they're scared for some kind of counter push. And it's happened many times. But most of the time where it happens is actually on Himmersdorf. That's the only map where it happens. And on other maps, we haven't seen it that many times. That's why I don't understand why the team's always scared as soon as it gets spotted. They should commit to something.
Meanwhile, that's beautiful, isn't it?
It looks quite Italian.
That Spanish village looks absolutely lovely in the sunlight.
It does. Could go for a swim right now. Feel like holiday.
Yeah, seriously, it's beautiful. I like that a lot. Anyway.
We need an event in Italy.
We need what?
We need an event in Italy.
I think we need an event in Spain.
No, yeah, Italy, you're right.
Yeah, anything in Spain would be fantastic.
Yeah, somewhere South Italy, the bottom of the boot. It's nice and warm there. But here's some pinging going on.
Yeah,
Lucky Kuraky did manage to spot the AMX 3090 in the middle, even do some damage here.
Yeah, they did do some damage on Mesbros there. 725 he's down to, so nicely done.
And this
again,
is why
he keeps getting damaged as well.
And
he got damaged in the second round of
and
this
he keeps getting killed as well. Like as soon as they realise, or any tank in the middle, he takes damage, and then straight away Lucky Kuraky thinks that tank's taking damage. We're going to charge forwards and kill this tank. They do it, but they lose a lot of tanks doing so. And in both games they've done so far, they lost 2 tanks in the middle trying to push the 1 tank in the Abbey.
He's the bait. That's why they're trying to get him down.
It might not be planned as bait, but it always turns out to be the bait.
Well, but this time round, Lucky Kuraky have managed to avoid the temptation of putting their hands in the virtual World of Tanks cookie jar by not going into the village and grabbing a free kill, and instead have stayed their ground here, waiting for any sign of push from Alpha Squad. We've got 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here on Abbey take 3.
I first going for the push here. Maybe we can just have a look what they're going for. We see Mansa and Skrills slowly pushing towards the cap circle. Don't want to be too aggressive. They've already got the 3090 in there, and bringing down the Lorraine artillery and the T2 light as well. The only tank staying back at the moment is a tier 1, and it looks like it's going to go to. They're going to go for a cap here. As soon as they start capping, the tanks might start sniping down from Lucky Kuraky from the J2 H2 position, but that's why they're bringing the artillery. The artillery can just clip a shell into one of these tanks, maybe even one-shot one. That's tier 8 tier points difference, and that will be the time to just back off and stay safe.
Quicksville right now will be the man that spots that push. If it comes into the cap circle, you can see him right now on your screen, or you would be able to if I switched over to him. There we go. And Quicksville wants to spot anything that comes into that cap circle. You can see the kind of range he has, nicely positioned as he is on the side of that hill. So those of you who are new to World of Tanks, he is a tier 1 tank. So the amount of damage he does is very small indeed. He can literally just finish off a tank. But he's also got great spotting ability, and he's fast. He can get out of there if he needs to.
He's the most important tank in this situation at the moment. Even they might not know that, but he is the most important tank. He has to do the spotting. He has to find out what's going on. And I think that, in my opinion, the Lorraine should have tried another shell, another blind shot in that position, kill him first, and then relocate. Because if he shoots now in that position, he's going to give away where he is. And as soon as he gives away his position, Lucky Kuraky knows what's going on. And it looks like they're already smelling that something's wrong here. Something's not right. They're not seeing any tanks. They don't know where anything is. And they might be slowly heading back to the base. On the other side, Alpha, they want to do it. You can see they want to do it. They have all the tanks in the right position. They want to push, but they don't know when and where and how to do it. They know where the tanks are. They know them up the hill. And we already see some pinging on H3. So this could be the beginning. In my opinion, that T2 light, they should bring it towards H2, H3, and maybe proxy spot something. Because if he sits down there, he's going to be safe. If anybody wants to kill him, they have to drop down that hill. If they drop down, they're going to take the shells from the tier 8 tanks. So maybe start using this T2 light. And this is what they're going to do. Jarrah's charging forward. He's in the cap circle.
Yeah, he is in the cap circle now. So chance to start something off. He's being fired upon by Matt Pierre, who somehow is going to get some artillery done on himself, and did manage to pick up the kill onto Jarrah. But the odd thing for me was that was splash damage, because he actually he went down to 3 points of health. I think that's the lowest I've ever seen without actually dying.
No, I think he had, with a T71, it was a low damage roll, I think, from him.
Or it might have been some shots from the T1 on the hill as well. So either way round, he has gone down, and Matt has been flushed out and spotted, and damage applied to him. He's down to 303 again.
Well, here comes the counter push from Lucky Kuraky. They're going right for the cap circle here.
They are going to make their way forward.
And there's no way. There's actually the tier 1. That tier 1. If that tier 1 stays alive, the Lorraine has to do the decapping, and then they can start the cap raise. But I'm not sure if this is going to work.
Yeah, 2 minutes 30 seconds of the game remaining here. Obiect and Nia Pizzoni in advanced positions. Brett also there. They've crept around the top here. There's the cap flag just in sight. It's like a tantalising prize in front of them for them to try and rush towards, but they would be foolish to rush towards it just yet. And, well, they're not foolish. They're going to back away. They've seen the clock, and they know that this is going to be another draw.
That's right. 1-1 still on the scoreboard. Third game on Abbey, and it's not looking good at all. This is one of the slow draws. These are the draws that we don't enjoy. In the meantime, we see... Oh, let me just have a look what we can see here, what's worth showing. We see Metzabras up in the Abbey. Really nice map design here. See the Jesuses on the building. Really, really nice.
Which you only get that kind of architecture in Spain.
Nah, that's really Italian. See, even Melly's backing me up here. That's 2 versus 1. Yes, thank you, Melly. High five. All right, let's have a look what else we have here. What's going on? 2 T69s down the bottom part. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. The T1 has now been spotted. Maybe the artillery will manage to take him down. Looks like he's aiming, but there's a big hill in the way, so I'm not sure if that shell can connect. No, 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 he's not shooting. Striker also has an advanced position towards the cap circle, but with 50 seconds left on the clock, it doesn't look like he can cap anything. You want to jump in?
Yeah, well, I just, I never knew there were houses up on that hill.
Are they?
Yeah, look. I mean, that's. I'm over by D0, and.
But how did they get up there?
I don't understand. How have I never seen these before? I don't understand.
But how did they get up there?
And they're inside. Well, not quite inside the map.
They're
They're just outside the map. But nevertheless, you can actually. You could get there if you wanted to. Such a big map. I've never seen this side of Abbey ever.
So 10 seconds left. Let's have another fly around the map here. I'm just gonna take off as well. It's nice. It's nice countryside, isn't it? You know, I always wondered, is there something underwater? Could like put some shipwrecks underwater or something.
So, the game has ended in a draw, as if you didn't already work that one out, and a little bit of damage done by the Lorraine, and just the 1 single kill. So we will go to a 4th map of Abbey. That's 40 minutes on 1 map.
That's right.
I never thought I'd be hearing the day when I said that I was bored out of my tiny mind by Abbey, because it hasn't been a draw map this season.
It hasn't.
I think it just adds to the fact that the tension is very high, and as you said, the stakes are very high tonight between these two teams. We know that, one small slip can cost them a map, which could then end up costing them the whole game. So, it's totally understandable as far as the teams are concerned. It just blows my mind how.
But I'm sorted because my mind can rest on this nice pillow. I just noticed.
Right.
So I can just sit back and enjoy.
Okay, good for you.
Buttoned
Anyway,
up as well, you know, because the ladies, they wrote in the chat that they want something to see as well, so I have to keep my button open.
really?
Yeah. You have to give something back to the community, you know.
1977 called. They'd like their night fever back.
Night fever.
Anyway, enough of this nonsense. Let's check in with Melly before we go back into the game because they're busy deciding whether they want name tanks or not. So, Melly, how you doing over there?
I'm
laughing away.
fine.
Yeah, what are you
Having
laughing
a
at?
great time.
Are you?
Chad, I don't know.
Okay,
She's just enjoying her time.
Steven,
right.
Spanish or Italian villages.
Is it Italian?
Well, the windows.
Let the chat decide.
Well, yeah.
Let the chat decide.
All right, chat, bring it on.
Okay. Let's see. We'll see in 10 minutes.
We will.
I will have an eye on it. So, I have some results here for the vote.
Cool, let's hear it.
86 to 14 for me.
For what?
For me.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean for you? Did I miss? Oh, you're doing a vote between you two?
Yeah.
How much was it for you?
86%.
I'll sign that.
Thank you.
Okay, I can live with that. That's fine. I'll just prove you doubters wrong.
No, and the other one, Alpha versus Lucky Kuraky, where you can still vote on our Facebook page, is 28% for Alpha and 73. What's wrong, Steven?
No, I just noticed a picture you sent or
Yeah,
sent on
it's
Twitter.
great.
I feel honoured.
You have to show it. It's,
Really?
it's
All right.
really
Crikey,
great.
Okay, before we go back into this game, let's just show this full screen. Put it on and then put it F11 and then we'll
Because I feel honoured because this is the first picture that was done dedicated to me.
really, like, blow it up. There
It
we
doesn't.
go.
It doesn't like.
Right.
I
So
didn't
okay,
say
what does
this.
it say? So it says
Playing with arty. Dumdy
Yeah.
dumdy dumdy dum. That looks like me. That's what got me playing with arty.
Yeah.
Just minding my own business.
okay.
Suddenly, a white AMX appears from the left. Oops. So I look to the left.
And
A
wilder
T50 from the right.
and a wilder T50 from the right. Crap.
Hard to be
arty,
arty.
isn't it?
I feel honoured.
Look in your face, seriously.
I really feel honoured because it's the first picture ever dedicated to
Really?
me.
That's fantastic. Well done,
Whoever
community.
done this, I love you.
All right, okay. Before we get carried away with the fun stuff, let's get back to the serious business of Lucky Kuraky versus Alpha. Just a reminder for you, we've played 4 times draws right now this evening. 3 of them on Abbey and 1 of them on Ensk. And the current score is 1-1 between the 2 of them. And Melly has completely and utterly lost it now. What's tickled you now? Before we go
Your
back into it, they're not quite ready.
No, they're quoting your conversation like, oh, it's a beautiful Spanish village. Oh, yeah, it's a really beautiful Italian landscape. Oh, looks quite Italian. That Spanish village looks beautiful.
It's
funny.
a
Come
caster
to the
argument.
chat, it's funny.
Yeah, it's a caster argument that we have every week. It's something that's been a theme throughout. In fact, there's been quite a few themes, hasn't there?
There were a few.
Yeah, there's a few memes going on now with the show every week, which we're glad you spot and like. However, we are ready to go back to the game. So let's drop you into Abbey. This is map 4, take 4 of Abbey on the 3rd map of the night, even though we've played 8 already.
You got it? You got it?
But the score is 1-1. That's something that I definitely know.
I was lost. I completely lost there.
Yeah, and we are underway once more. Who can break the deadlock on Abbey? Is it Lucky Kuraky or is it Alpha Squad? These 2 teams sitting in 10th and 11th this evening in the World of Tanks Pro League in Europe. One of them will definitely be relegated on Thursday night. One of them could be relegated this evening, in fact. If Alpha Squad lose this, of course, they are out of the World of Tanks Pro League for Season 1 and will have to try and make their way back into it in Season 3. Right now, starting off for Lucky Kuraky have started off fairly similar, but not entirely similar, because they've only sent 3 tanks to the left-hand side alongside the Bison. Instead, what they've done is they've pushed a 1390 with Nia Pizzorni into the little village, and he's just sitting outside that Spanish village right now, not quite on the main road, but just to the left-hand side of it. So this could be a little bit of a change. If he gets caught out in here, because we've seen the Alpha get caught out in there quite often.
Yeah, and yeah, we have the 3090 from Mansa. No, sorry, it's Mezzabro. Yeah, it's Mezzabro's in the Italian Abbey up on the hill. And he's been caught up many times already. But he did manage, this is really important, he did get up the hill without destroying anything, so he's safe at the moment. But we see the 3090 up the top. He has managed to spot something, and the artillery shell did connect, or didn't actually completely connect. He'd done some splash damage.
No, it did. It did a fair amount of damage, because actually Bart is down to 56% of his 1350 health that he started with. So
I was just about to say,
there were 2 shells that landed on him, one from the artillery and one, I think, was from the 1390 that they spotted just above them.
I was about to say, how did he work that 56% out really fast again? But I remembered that's like green writing in the middle. You're forgetting. And
Amazing.
Bart is spotted again, and if the artillery is in a nice position, he might manage to connect another shell, but it looks like he won't have an angle for now. Maybe a relocating.
No, that's a really difficult angle. I mean, look at where it's got to come in from to start with.
Yeah,
that's the angle it's got to land at. So,
and the artillery is towards this tree in front of him.
I'd be super impressed if he managed to get it through there and landed on the top of Bart. But yeah. There we go. That 69 is currently down to 56% of health. They have spotted a 69 back inside the village again here. And we've got a similar setup with the T1 back at home.
But we see something different here from Alpha. They actually have quite a lot of Tier 8 tanks in the middle, and they're doing some damage to object. And as soon as object falls back, he's now tracked. He watch out. He's going to get another shell. He's really lucky that he didn't take that much damage, but he's going out with 578, and that's an artillery shell. 8 tier points difference. Now, we might see a winner.
We might do. That is going to try and change the course of this particular map, as Object has been destroyed. Now, are we going to get the push here? We have got Kunzios now, who's going to push up the left-hand side a little bit with that Bison, just to give his team a little bit more cover and a little bit more range. Matt, on the other hand, is going backwards.
But that's keep this T1 alive.
But they are going forward now. They are going to pick up the T1, are they? Oh, it just disappeared out of sight.
Just missed, but he might get a shell.
And they get the second one. No.
That was
CNNK
so close.
Can't land the second shell on Robis either. And that's the Tier 1's speed advantage paying dividends for him there. But really, CNNK should have picked up that kill.
That was important. If it would have got that kill, that would have been, the 8 tier points difference would have been gone again. And just have a look at my screen. The T1, we can't see the exact situation. Now he's, of course, hiding in the bush. The shell just... Drive it forward, mate. I want to show something here. Like, he just slipped right past his turret. That was like maybe 1 or 2 centimeters what just missed that tank and saved Alpha for the moment. On the other side, we see Bart as 7 down to 500. Sorry, 753,
and CNNK and himself are both retreating right now down the 1 line. Neither of them fancying their chances up there, and instead they're pinging over the far side of Abbey. It's be a very unusual push if they went down the other side, but nevertheless, the river route has been used frequently by the north-facing team, which is why this left side of the map, as we look at it, is favoured by Lucky Kuraky right now. Striker spotted inside the village, but no damage done on him just yet. Here comes Bart. He thought he might be able to sneak in there and see him, but there's nothing doing for him either. But with 5:30 remaining in Abbey, our 3rd map of the night, albeit that we've played it 4 times, right now, Alpha have the advantage because of the Tier 8 difference of Object being destroyed. So it's all down to Lucky Kuraky to make something happen now.
Yeah, and that was a really smart move from the AMX 3090 to send him up there, because they realised every game that most tanks are up that hill, so why would they change it now? Looks like they feel comfortable. Let's spot what's going on up there. They managed to do so, done some damage. Artillery doing the final shell, and that's where the Lorraine comes into play, because I'm not sure if the Bison would actually manage to do that. That's the difference. The Bison can do a lot more damage in some situations, but the Lorraine can do the deciding shots with only 1 shot, where the Bison will need 2 shots. And that's why it's really important. Now let's watch out, though, because look at Kuraky, they're charging towards the middle. The AMX 3090 already taking some damage, down to 871, so there's 2 tanks already taking a bit of damage here.
Yep.
And Skrills, he's on his own in the middle. He has to watch out.
Yep, they're going to make a play here, I think, Lucky Kuraky. They've pushed men forward, and these tanks now just about to go into the centre of the village. CNNK leading the charge. Bart just behind him on that 753. They make the first spot, and the first shot is landed on Skrills. He's down to 1104. The second one missed, though, and that could be costly for them.
And Marak is down from Skrills.
CNNK has to take some cover there before he can fire off any more. Does land a little bit more, and he's down to 862 now, Skrills. They've managed to get control of this middle area, though, as Matt Bart and CNNK have all got control of the middle.
On the other side, Matt PL coming around the corner. He just skidded right around there, but Mansa was onto it. He just stopped safe, doing a nice steady aiming, and managed to take him down. But that skid around the corner, that looked really smart there. Skrills is down to 862 HP. I'm not sure if he repaired his ammo rack here. Let's have a look at that. No, he didn't. It looks like he didn't take a repair kit again. And this is crucial, because an autoloader, the biggest advantage of a T69 is his reload time. And if you have a destroyed ammo rack, that's 50 seconds reload time, and that makes his tank kind of useless. It can empty his 4 shells, and that's it. That's a dead tank then. But they managed to do a lot of damage. That's 15 tier points down now. If they take down a tier 1 or the Bison's actually going to die now. Jarrow's charging forward, and here comes the final shot. Jarrow managed to take down a Bison, so that's 2 tier 8 tanks destroyed. Or
yep. It's 2 tier 8s, and the tier 2 artillery is gone now as well. As Manza picks up another one on a tier 1. It's a 4-tank lead now, and more importantly, the tiers are starting to flow. Not those tiers. The tiers is in the tiered tanks are starting to flow in the favour of Alpha, who now lead 4-0 with 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining. Bart, you can see on your screen, trying to just stay alive here, but there isn't a real amount of hope left in Lucky Kuraky. I think they're just going to have to go for this and see what they get out of it. And indeed, Nia Pizzorni making his way forward now. Bart taking a massive amount of damage. He's down to 42. He might even die if he falls off there too badly. No, just about lives. And Nia Pizzorni's going to go down any second as well. He's got 381. He might be able to pick up a kill, though. Skrill's only with 401. And then Nia Pizzorni takes some shell damage from Manza and Skrills. They're both going to have to reload and back away here. And Skrills does go down. Mezzlebrows with 2 in a row.
And
wow, look at that. Striker flies up the side of the hill. And they'll pick up another one. And that'll be GG. A clean sweep in the end. 7-0.
That would have been an ending. If Skrills would have managed to just jump on top of that tank, that would have been an ending an ending needed for this map.
So, Alpha Pro take the lead 2-1, and we check in with the score. Mezzlebrows with 3 for 1,205. The Lorraine picked up 1 with KS, 2 for Manza, 1 for Jarrow, and a whole load of pain for Lucky Kuraky, who now go down 2-1 after they pulled it all back on Ensk as well. So, amazing.
It is. But it was...
We knew this game was going to be tense. We knew it was going to be close, but
not this close.
No, and yet in that match, 7-0. Not a single. We don't see many of those shutouts, especially when the two teams are so evenly matched.
It's just a complete rollover there, and there was no situation where you just thought Lucky Kuraky's going to stand a chance here. They managed to take down that 1 tier 8 tank really early, and then the positioning was just perfect to take down the T71. They've done a lot of damage onto Matt PL in his no, sorry, he was the one who got killed. It was Bart07 who was the one who took a lot of damage, and overall, really nice executed from Alpha.
So, we are almost ready to move on to our 4th map this evening. In fact, we are now ready to move on to our 4th map. The tank picks have begun. We're on to Prokhorovka.
No, you jinxed at the beginning, because you jinxed Ensk to be a draw map, and it did end draw.
That's not me jinxing the map. It is a draw map. I didn't sit there before Abby and say, this won't be a draw.
Well, who would have expected that?
Four draws.
Yeah, but who would have expected that, right?
Not many people. But we are on to Prokhorovka. It's the most open of all maps, so very, very unlikely that we get a draw. I've done it now, haven't I? And the tank picks have begun. So Alpha are going to kick off with a T1 and a 1390, and follow that up with 1390 and T69. Kuraky are going to go double AMX 1390s to start us off. Wouldn't be a surprise to see exactly the same pick. T1 and 1390 for them in round 2. Let's just wait and see.
All right.
And indeed, they have gone for a T1 and a 1390. So mirror match so far between the two.
Got something nice for you. I'm starting to enjoy this quite a lot.
Not amused.
I am. Show these later. This is a good one too.
Yeah, we'll go through the images later.
While we wait for the next time picking, next picks to be called. So far, all the same. I think they're going to manage it in the 1 minute time. Let's just poke them. Done it again. Poked him before the minute finished. So, you sticking to your 3-2?
Absolutely. It's looking good now. Alpha have got their 2.
True. But Alpha's got their 2 for their 3-1.
I thought Lucky Kuraky would be strong on Prokhorovka, and I think they'll beat them on mines. So my 3-2
well, they have
is still on.
They have the WZ 1-3-2. So Mansa picks a T2 light and a Lorraine for Alpha, and Quicksfield picks a T1 and WZ 1-3-2 for Lucky Kuraky. Final call from Alpha is going to be T69. But I have to say, this Tier 8 Chinese tank, yes. I really like it on Airfield and on Prokhorovka. These are the 2 maps where this tank comes in really handy, in my opinion. Well, it doesn't have a clip. So while the French tanks and the American tanks are reloading and
hold on,
trying to run away.
This is a bit different. We've got double WZ-132. Not seen that one before.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Did they have any artillery? They didn't take no artillery.
They didn't take any artillery either. This is going to be very interesting from Kuraky. So Kunzios is going to go down. That was obviously because he was the artillery player. Ketevan, who is a fantastic player, is going to come back up into the side, and he's going to take one of the WZs along with CNNK. So this could be genius or flawed. They've gone for 3 1390s, 2 WZ-132s, and 2 Tier 1s. On the other side, a much more stable, regular kind of Prokhorovka setup. For Alpha Pro, they've gone for the Lorraine artillery, which we'd expect them to have. T1, T2 light, all pretty standard. 2 1390s and 2 T69. So this is standard against something very different that we haven't seen.
Yeah, looking at the lineups, it looks like it's a kind of a Himmersdorf lineup for an open map. You know, you got the 3 French tanks, or you got, but not as heavy tanks. You got them as light tanks because you need the mobility.
Well, it's a city-based lineup.
Yeah, but just adapted to an open map because you need the speed and you need the light tanks. That's why they're normal tanks. What you usually see IS-3s on Himmersdorf are the Tier 8 light tanks from the Chinese, and that's really interesting. And I'm looking forward to see how this one turns out, because if you look at the map right here, it's a really, really open map. You got the right-hand side, got a little hill up there, but you don't see much action there. But you might see some action around that small village. But most of the action is usually in the middle on the left-hand side of the map. And this 4 light tank lineup, where I can just charge forward and do a lot of damage, is really interesting. I think this could work. If they manage to catch the Lorraine off guard, this could be really strong. And the Lorraine doesn't have a strong spawning either. We can see the Lorraine all over the right-hand side of the spawning spot, and usually you want to get him all the way to bottom left, K1, K2 area. And then this seems to be impossible against this lineup, and he should focus on the bottom right of the corner, and this is where it's going. Yeah, he knows if I go a long way, this is going to be a tricky one. Even though there's no artillery to kill him, but he can get sniped, so he's just going to stick around there. Jarrett also going outside, and we see 4 Tier 8 tanks going on the right-hand side. And I have to say, I don't want to jinx anything, but this is what killed the map. Mouse Sports against Dragonborns. One team going on the right-hand side was so hard to take him down just because they turtled in so strong.
Not going to happen for Lucky Kuraky this time around. They've sent 3 down the 6 line and 4 down the 2 line. They've already spotted a T69 down there at the bottom of the train track.
There's nothing, no artillery to kill him.
Skrills. Mezabrow is also in there, and as you rightly point out, no artillery to kill them. So
they can do whatever they want now. They're safe.
They need to be really careful, Lucky Kuraky, with how they play this one out. They can't get spotted too quickly, and at the moment Nir Pizzorni is in a good position.
Ketevan on the other side was spotted. Shells flying towards him. The artillery shell didn't miss as well. Striker tried to connect the shell, also missed. So Ketevan got away there, pretty lucky at the beginning. But now we see a counter push. They realize what's going on here.
We are going to see this counter push, and it's going to come down the right-hand side, down the 2 line right now. There is 2 pushing back behind them. You can see CNNK in that WZ, and alongside him is Bart. And then you have Matt, Piao, and Object, who are now going cross-country towards the train track. And you can see that the cap circle is very close indeed, and whilst they entertain them on the other side of the map, look at these 2. They're just going to go and stream towards it, but they are coming under fire now. Matt Piao does take a little bit of damage. 2 more shells into his face. There's a 3rd. He's only going to take 1 more before going down. Is he going to live long enough to see another fight? looks like he might just survive this one with 182 damage remaining.
But here's one important thing. The tier 1 from Roberts does get spotted. It was just a random position in the middle of the map. No way we expected tier 1. Is now spotted. So if they do lose this tier 8 tank, it's not going to be 8 tier points different because Bart is raining down some shells towards Roberts. Roberts now's all right. Bart is on reload. It's my turn to start sending some shells back.
Ooh.
And he is connecting. But now, slightly missing there. So looking for Bart. And Roberts just going to roll away and be safe for the moment.
Yep, 63 plays 55 in that battle of the T1s.
CNNK down to 30 HP on the other side. Mansa trying to finish him off. Only a low damage roll, so CNNK gets away. Lucky again for him. And is Ketevan on his own? Looks like Ketevan is on his own against 3 tanks here.
A little bit isolated, yes. CNNK.
Quick
Well, he's
field
not
does
on
get
his
killed.
own because he has Nir Pizzoni with him to back him up. So I think they might think that he's on his own, but he's definitely not.
No, they did manage to spot the other light tank now as well, so they know what's going on. No need to push that way. Lorraine Artillery also relocated all the way up to the hill. Not such a strong position because he can't hit any tank down near the tracks. And there's actually a map. Oh, hang on. CNNK down to 70 HP now. It looks like the tier 1 is trying to take him down. Roberts
is going to try and take him down. He's down to 7 points of health right now. Look at that. Unbelievable. How the heck has he lived there?
Roberts is just keep on coming up. He's just reloading, peeking up, going to lob another wave of shells into him, and just hoping for this one lucky shell to connect. Another shot comes.
Ooh, they were just to the side of him as well. Now they're going to be fired in. I actually don't understand how he's managed to do that. 5 points of health remaining for Robbis, and
Well,
somehow Bart has picked up the kill in the T1.
That
with
was
CNNK left with 7 points of health. Unbelievable bit of play.
That was close. I think that what they should do now, Jarrow, he should just charge over the hill, use his speed ability, charge towards the left-hand side of the map, A1, A2, go down this line, and then try to kill the T69 on the other side, who's only down. But no need to. CNNK gets killed from Mansa. Mansa just goes for it. And here we have the 8 tier points difference now. Mansa still doing a lot of damage. Metzabrow coming from the other side. And this looks like it's going to be 2 kills going to be taken in a bit.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be
Number
game
one
over
down.
for Obiek, though. He has landed a really good shot. If he can land this second one, he can. And Mansa's now down to 38, plays 1-1-3. But Mezzabrows comes in and picks up 2 kills, 2 big kills on the 1390s. And now Neapazor, now down to the last man standing, effectively, because the only other man in his team is Bart. And the GGs have already been called. And this looks like it's going to be 3-1 to Alpha Squad. And in which case, it is going to go to the wire. The final game of the season will decide which of these 2 teams goes down, and the sorry sight of Nir Pizzoni, finally blown to smithereens, ends the game for Lucky Kuraky. Thanks for the game, says KS.
And I can only agree on that. Thanks for the game, because these were amazing.
They were amazing this evening. Thank you to both teams. That was fantastic stuff from both of them. Really tense all evening. And we yet again see another big game from Mezzabros. 3 from him for 639 to clear things up at the end. 2 for 1845 from Skrills as the top scorer in that final match. So, game over as far as Lucky Kuraky are concerned. Their recent run of form comes to an abrupt halt against a team who hadn't won in 6 games. Alpha Squad, congratulations. They win 3-1 and they stay in the World of Tanks Pro League for now. They are both tied on 15 points now. So it completely comes down to Thursday's final league game of the season.
But it's
to decide which one goes down and which one stays.
It's important to add, though, if both lose their next game, and they're both in the same amount of points, and we look at the mini league, it's important that Alpha won against Lucky Kuraky, because we're going to be looking between these 2 teams then.
Yes.
And that's where Alpha got the points. I'm not sure about the first score. Maybe we can just quick look that one up, because it shouldn't take long, because we have the nice WoTProLeague.com page where you can find all the information. And I'm just checking out Lucky Kuraky's page here, and there we go, Alpha. And they lost 3-1 to Alpha as well. So there's 2 times 3-1.
Yeah. So they win the mini league battle anyway.
They have to win the next game against Evil Panda Squad on Thursday.
And they have to hope that
and
Alpha loses.
And they have to hope that Alpha loses. So it's a really nice position from Alpha. Really important win. And it's going to be tricky.
All right, before we take a quick break, let's check in with Melly and find out what you guys thought about the predictions. Melly.
It's obviously an Italian village.
There you go. Told you.
Well, the community said it was Italian, so
what
we
is
had
this
also
tonight?
some funny countries like Nigeria or Latvia.
Right.
But I think most people said it was Italian. So I'm just
I can only agree on that.
updating the votes. Well, our vote is still 82% for me, Paul. Just little
I'm
side
okay. I know,
note.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the heavy favourite, then that just puts more pressure on you. That's fine by me. I'm the underdog. I can live with that. If you've not seen the Red Eye of the Tiger video, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm okay as the underdog.
I
Trust
really
me.
want to see that video.
We're at the
Yeah,
end
So
of the
as
show.
we
my-
might find it.
As my browser is crashing, I sent some more memes to Steven. Maybe he could show a few of them.
Yeah, I can do that. Well, I'm going to keep this one on the site because I just wrote mainly something about this picture. I want your face on that.
Oh, what?
What? No.
Yes, I
What?
really want your face. Because you got the tanks in the background, I want your face on this picture.
Right, okay, fine.
So I'll get the community to get
Challenge
challenge the
thrown
community to
Okay.
get Paul's face on that.
On
This is
what?
I've said it to you in Skype. You'll see.
Oh,
with
down.
it.
okay.
Okay, let's show you this one then.
We got this one from Millie.
Yeah.
I
Well
like
done,
this one.
everyone.
Here you are. Get your codes. Nice big. It's a good one.
There's these sports codes.
And-
You also have. Oh, hang on.
Now we had this one.
Yeah, we've already had that one.
I got another one somewhere.
Have you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's actually no. It's just like a nice screenshot of your face. Like
No, yeah.
what?
It's a pretty good. I had one. Well, with captions, but I can't find it. I don't know where it went.
I don't know.
Well, it was like something can climb a hill.
Okay.
People liked it. What is happening?
But I
there?
think that captures your face. It's got your face pretty good there because like this is like if a question comes in, it's going to be
What is happening?
like what? What do you want?
Well,
I
the
don't
vote
know.
Yeah.
More
From
fun.
Alpha and Lucky Kuraky haven't changed. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, more action from the World of Tanks Pro League. It's been a very exciting night so far. Still got more action to come. Don't go too far away.